The following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
Behind stadium, you see right there in the foreground is the Hall of Fame, where the ceremonies are just concluding. The newest inductees going into the Hall of Fame. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford with Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf. And guys, this just happens to coincide with the 25th anniversary season of ABC's Monday Night Football, which I agree with, I think you'll agree, it begins appropriately on Saturday. In any event, we have 6 new inductees. You're going to have an opportunity to hear us talk with them live during the course of today's game. And we are also going to check in on the pageantry and emotion, and there was a lot of it today as these 6 new inductees went into the hall. All of that taking place here on Hall of Fame Day in Canton, Ohio. And almost lost in the pageantry, Al, is the fact that we kick off the '94 NFL season, the 75th anniversary season for the NFL with, of course, the Atlanta Falcons and San Diego Chargers.
2 teams looking for better things in '94. Last year, as you'll recall, Frank, Atlanta wound up with a mark of 6-10, and thus they fired Jerry Glanville after 4 years. The new coach is 41-year-old June Jones, and the new quarterback is Jeff George, who comes for a pretty high price. 3 high draft choices, a first, a second, and a third, so they hope that he can lead them back to the playoffs. They were last there in 1991. San Diego went to the playoffs in '92 when they won 11 of their last 12, but last year slipped. They were 8-8. They were injury racked. If Stan Humphries can stay healthy this year, he's their quarterback, then San Diego has a good chance to get back into the playoffs, but they're in the very, very tough AFC West with the Raiders, Denver, and Kansas City. So those are the 2 teams having at it on the field today. But Dan, you're a native of this town. This weekend is noted for what takes place off the field.
Really, Al, and really this weekend is just a culmination of activities that have been happening all week. The town of Canton, Ohio puts its very heart and soul into the Hall of Fame weekend, and what we're seeing here on Saturday afternoon with this football game is really just the final episode of what has been really just an exciting week for the 6 men who have seen their dreams come true. They have come from boys who dared they even dream about playing high school or college football, and they have made it not just to the pinnacle of their individual team, but now to the very summit of the entire world of professional football. And today we're here to celebrate them, and we're here to start the NFL's 75th season. As Frank mentioned, our 25th season on Monday night, but really it's the 75th anniversary of the National Football League, and what better place to get it started than here in Canton. And Al, I just have to say one thing. Who's this new guy we've got downstairs?
Well, we've got our traveling circus intact here, and this year it will include Lynn Swan, who joins us as our sideline reporter, and a lot of innovations taking place around the league. And Lynn, what's one of them in your hand right there?
Well, Al, you're absolutely correct. New technology in the NFL, a one-way radio helmet communication device. The coach can talk to the quarterback, and he can't talk back to the coach. Inside this helmet, there are 2 speakers, one on each side, where he can pick up that signal from the coach. He'll flip on this device. It's transmitted up to the press box and then down to the quarterback. He'll have up until 15 seconds left on the play clock, or the snap of the ball, whichever comes first, to have that communication, and then it's gone. But already we have some innovation with the new technology. Stan Humphries has a problem wearing his helmet, so his communications device are in his shoulder pads.
And they better not leak, or at least they better have a volume control. That, by the way, is not a preseason experiment. That is something that will be implemented during the regular season.
Have another one right here, too, Al. They are going to be kicking off from the 30-yard line. Designed, of course, to put more offense in the game, get the excitement of the kickoff return back into the game. And a lot of danger goes with this, however. Some of the ramifications of kicking from the 30 can be rather severe, Dan.
Yeah, one of the biggest ones, Frank, is if the ball is kicked out of bounds, it's going to be spotted all the way up at the 40-yard line. And you talk about a real loss of field position. I wouldn't want to be that kicker that trots over, because the head coach is going to be angry that the other team gets to start on their own 40.
Just tell you, go trot on out and pack.
Yep.
Falcons kick off. Norm Johnson is their regular kicker, but he will sit on the bench today. And Todd Peterson kicks off and is brought back to the 31-yard line by Andre Coleman, a rookie from Kansas State, who gets welcomed into the National Football League after a 20-yard return. Stan Humphries does not figure to play very much. Last year, he was hurt, suffered a bruised shoulder in their final preseason game, and was off and on through the rest of the year. Didn't get healthy until the end, and thus he'll play very sparingly today. Natron Means is now their feature back. Sean Jefferson and Mark Say are the wideouts. And in the two tight end set, it's Dwayne Young and Alfred Papuno. We'll check out the line in a moment. On first down from the 31, they begin with Means, and a huge hole for Natron Means inside the Falcon 30 and out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Vinnie Clark makes the tackle. Well, Marion Butts was traded to New England, and they said by trading Butts, Natron, you are our man. And Natron says, I'll take it.
And it's fitting you were getting ready to introduce the offensive line. What a giant hole on the cutback. A play that originally was to start to the left-hand side, but look at the hole that opens up to the backside. The seal-off on the right side by Isaac Davis, the right guard.
Look at the speed of this man at 245 pounds. They wanted to see more of him. They were willing to let Butts go, and he will be the man at the running game for the Chargers this year.
43-yard gain. He picks up another 5 through the middle. A flag goes down, our first penalty of the preseason schedule. Gary Lane is the official, and we've got a hold coming up against the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah. And now you get to set the offensive line
right.
off of a holding.
Absolutely. Harry Swain, Joe Cacuzo. Courtney Hall is one of the best centers in the league. The aforementioned Isaac Davis, who was their top draft choice, came in the second round, a rookie. And Stan Brock, the longtime New Orleans Saint, now in his second season with San Diego.
One of the real problems last year for San Diego was their offensive line, and they still have several players coming off injuries. And of course, lost to a couple of key players. There's Bobby Ross. Been here now 3 years out of Georgia Tech, but their offensive line was a problem a year ago.
First and 20. After the holding call, Humphrey stepping up, looking for the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown by Sean Jefferson.
Oh, what a great pass. Whoa, Stan Humphries right on target. Hit Sean Jefferson, who was well covered. Hit him right in stride. It was D.J. Johnson, one of the better defensive backs. He came over to Atlanta from Pittsburgh. He was right there, but it was a perfectly thrown ball by Stan Humphries.
Well, one of the things that Bobby Ross told us was that the emergence of Sean Jefferson, his development into a big-time player, made it easier with the loss of Anthony Miller. And boy, it didn't take long for Sean to demonstrate that he is now the go-to guy for the San Diego Chargers. A well-run pattern, a perfectly delivered ball, and D.J. Johnson gets scorched on the play, but not a really that bad a coverage for the corner.
You got someone in the end zone, that's the kind of coverage you have to have. It was a perfectly thrown ball.
John Carney for the point after, and they go 69 yards thanks to a long run by Means and the touchdown pass from Humphries to Jefferson. And just 58 seconds into the game, it's 7-0 Chargers.
What is it about Ford Taurus that makes it America's best-selling car? Is it Taurus SHO with its amazing handling and 24-valve, 220-horsepower performance, its driver-oriented interior, or the unique ways SHO finds to reward the driver like no other performance sedan? Ford Taurus SHO. Another reason why Taurus is the best-selling car in America. Again.
Debbie, these shots are fabulous. Beautiful, Debbie.
Better than the last time, Tony?
Absolutely. It's my job to make sure people look good. A few weeks ago while doing test shots with Debbie, I noticed something. Dandruff. So I told her about Head & Shoulders. You see, regular shampoos merely rinse flakes away, so they could come back. But look, Head & Shoulders helps stop flakes from even forming. See the difference? Yeah, picture perfect. Head & Shoulders turns dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
The AFC-NFC Hall of Fame game, brought to you by the all-new Ford Windstar. The future of minivans begins today. Head & Shoulders and Head & Shoulders 2-in-1 turns dandruff problems into great-looking hair. And Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
Just a little piece of trivia, and God knows we have enough of that today. Bobby Ross just became the first coach in the history of the National Football League to have an option of going for 1 or 2. That's another new rule this year, in case you've forgotten. The 2-point conversion is now in effect in the National Football League. And I would suspect you're going to see a coach go for one probably 90% of the time, and clearly no real choice for Bobby right here. But he at least became the first coach ever to have that option.
He was right on top of it yesterday when we spoke with him. He said in college football, they only go 9% of the time. And, of course, he is only 3 years out of the college coaching ranks, Georgia Tech, so he is very familiar with it.
Are you trying to say that he didn't anguish over the decision?
I don't think so. Here's John Carney kicking off for San Diego, and the kick comes down to the 9-yard line. Tony Smith, who's their primary returner and backup running back. A flag goes down as Smith gets tackled up at the 27-yard line.
Two things that we've seen in each of the possessions, one by San Diego and now Atlanta with their very first play with the kickoff return, a loose field. We've seen a chunk of sod come up for both of the clubs.
Holding 48 on the return team, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, first down.
It's a soft field here at Fawcett Stadium, and I think that's something to look for the balance of the game.
I was out here last night, Dan, doing some recording. It was pouring out here, a huge thunderstorm, so we've got a damp field, and that's not good, as you know, the guys in training camp.
Jeff George comes over from Indianapolis. Eric Pegram, 4th in the league in rushing last year. Risen and Mathis and Mims and Emmanuel, a former college quarterback, are the 4 wide receivers in their base set to run and shoot from the 15-yard line. Jeff George ready to throw his first pass as an Atlanta Falcon, and he's going for Risen, and it is incomplete. Risen well covered on the play by Dwayne Harper, the former Seattle Seahawk, who was procured by San Diego to shore up what had been a very porous secondary. There's June Jones at the age of 41. He ran the offense under Jerry Glanville and then ascended to the throne after Glanville was let go following 4 years in Atlanta and 1 playoff season. The offensive line for the Falcons, Mike Ken in his 17th year, says it'll be his last one. Kennedy, Fortin in the middle. Zandowski's a former Charger. He was a San Diego starter last year. Whitfield a couple of years back was a #1 draft choice from Stanford. 2nd and 10 from the 15-yard line. Eric Pegram cuts it back, and Pegram, who came out of nowhere to emerge as a star last season, takes it up to the 21-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Take a look now at the San Diego defense. They were last in the league last year in pass defense, but allowed only 3.2 yards per rush. Mims, Lee, Reuben Davis comes over from the Cardinals, and the great Leslie O'Neal. Sayal, one of the very finest. Griggs, a former Dolphin. Gibson is the former Lion. Gordon, a #1 draft choice 2 years back. Then Harper, Carrington had 7 picks last year, and Stanley Richard was a #1 choice in 1991. 3rd and 4. Falcons out of the gun from the 21. George dumps it over the middle, nearly has it picked off by Sayal, who breaks it up, and that'll force them to punt.
Sayal showing that quickness. I'll tell you, if you were going to pick a quarterback to run this offense, you could not have a better one than Jeff George. He has an amazingly quick release. However, Atlanta is also confronted with the fact they lost Mike Pritchard, Mike Haynes, Drew Hill. There are 3 starting receivers in this run-and-shoot type offense. Look at Sayal with that quick move, almost got a hand on it. Enough for the interception, but he deflects it, and they'll bring on the punting team. But there's a quick release again by Jeff George. He's going to be fun to watch in this offense.
Harold Alexander punting. He had a good rookie year. And Andre Coleman, a rookie from Kansas State, is back to accept it, and fair catches it at the 35-yard line. 12:52 remaining in the opening quarter of the opening exhibition game of the 1994 season. 7-0 San Diego.
I'm looking forward to the season like a slug looks forward to the rain. I'm talking about the NFL season. I'm talking about brawn and brain. Reggie White, Steve Young, Barry Foster, and players with much longer names. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the season, and especially the 2-point conversion. I wrote that.
A new wind is rising, bringing change, bringing the all-new Ford Windstar, a totally new minivan. Windstar is the only minivan that combines standard dual airbags, 5-mile-an-hour bumpers, and 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. Plus, it meets all passenger car safety standards. It's safety that takes the minivan in a whole new direction. The all-new front-wheel drive Ford Windstar. The future of minivans begins today.
World All-Round champion Shannon Miller takes on the sport's best, plus the boxing finals. The Goodwill Games continue from Russia, next on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Let's set the Falcon defense. Now, this year, June Jones has installed a base 4-2-5 with Archambault, Holt, Gardner, and Chris Dolman, the former Viking, now a Falcon, up front. The two linebackers are Clay Matthews, the longtime Brown, and Jesse Tuggle. And then they'll have two guys playing hybrid positions. Ron George and Roger Harper, sort of combined linebacker, strong safety types, with Vinnie Clark and DJ Johnson, the former Steeler, at the corners, and Kevin Ross, the longtime Kansas City Chief, procured now by Atlanta, is the free safety.
June Jones wasn't afraid to go for a little age, was he, Dan? Clay Matthews in his 17th season. You've got Noga, 9 years. Chris Dolman now, he's 10 years. And got some pretty healthy veterans.
Clay Matthews, the oldest defensive player in the National Football League.
From the 35-yard line, Stan Humphries off the play fake, throws an out to the near side. Perfect pass, caught at the 50-yard line. Ball comes loose. Sean Jefferson lost the football, and the Atlanta Falcons have recovered at midfield. It is Kevin Ross right there who comes up with the football, the longtime Kansas City Chief.
And a Kansas City Chief that last year made the transition from a Pro Bowl cornerback to a free safety for Marty Schottenheimer. Came over, now is starting for Atlanta in that same position. You saw the slip. We talked about the field. Vinnie Clark slipped, but got back into the coverage.
Oh, that Jefferson appeared to have his knees down on the field when the ball was pulled loose. Ron George, one of the players in there, but it appeared that Jefferson had his knees on the field when the ball came out. But nonetheless, it belongs to the Atlanta Falcons, and Jeff George, the first play last time, went deep to Risen. Let's see if they try it again.
He's got Risen split to the left on first down from the 50-yard line. 7-0 San Diego. Through the middle goes Eric Pegram for a gain of 3. Sean Lee makes the stop. Again, you'll see George creating the fumble, but a break for Atlanta as he appeared to have been down.
Looks like he's down, and then, boy, a good job there of stripping the football by Vinnie Clark. He's the one that actually ripped the ball out of the hands of Jefferson.
He made a good effort to get back into that play after slipping and going down himself.
A lot of times, won't you see it, where a guy loses his footing and at the same time loses that 100% control of the football.
On 2nd and 7, George operating a run and shoot. The pass at the 32-yard line into the arms of David Mims. It is a catch. Late call, but it is a catch as Jeff George has the incredible physical ability. That's what they've said about him for years, to just gun it to guys in positions like that, put it right on the money, a 15-yard pickup right off the grass.
I think I said last year, and I don't know, I was questioned about it. I've never seen an arm like this, and I loved hearing June Jones say the same thing yesterday, that he has never seen an arm like this quarterback.
Well, that was pretty good use of the arms by Mims that time to get that catch. What a superior effort going down to the field to corral that thing.
High snap out of the gun, but George pulls it in and buys some time and then throws underneath, and it's a minimal gain. The catch is made along the sidelines by Bert Emanuel, a rookie from Rice. Now, Jeff George, despite that great arm, did not have a great supporting cast in Indianapolis, and thus, among active quarterbacks, he's won only 14 and lost 35. And then there's Vinny Testaverde now at Cleveland and all of the rest. On the other side of the coin, you've got Stan Humphries of San Diego, who is 20 and 10 as a starter. 2nd and 17 now at the 29-yard line. George with good protection, fires complete.
You just
Andre Rison at the 21-yard line, and that's going to be a very potent combination for them this year. George to Rison. Harper makes the stop.
I guess I'll get over it. You just have to admire it, though. I mean, again, he was rolling to his left. He threw off balance, just put a real zip on it. You know what? He also, as a former receiver, I can tell you, he throws a softball. It gets there quickly, but it's easy to handle. Watch him moving to his left and still firing.
No need to get over it, Frank. He's to be admired. He does have
amazing.
He's brought a lot of problems on himself with the way that he has acted at various times by his contract squabbles, his unhappiness with the Colts in Indianapolis. But when he is on, when Jeff George is doing what he does best, throwing the football. He's almost unparalleled. Dan Marino is another guy that comes to mind, but that same type of classic stand-up, quick release. It just seems that when the brain makes the decision that the ball should go to this person, it just seems to happen quicker with Marino and George than with anybody else.
You know, you just wonder about the attitude and all the problems he had and that were alluded to in Indianapolis. Had he not been a hometown boy, had he played high school football there and he went away and he came back, and maybe so much was expected of him, maybe too much, and maybe he needs a June Jones in Atlanta to bring out the best in what could be one of the great players of all time.
2nd and 7 after a 3-yard run by Pegram. The catch is made here by Bert Emanuel, who's a pretty good story. He takes it down to the 12-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short. Emanuel was a college quarterback at Rice. He originally enrolled at UCLA and left there with Tommy Maddox getting the job. Went to Rice, but there was no question around the league that when Emanuel got drafted, he was going to be turned into a wide receiver, and he has a chance to start now.
Well, he's a good athlete. Texas high school long jump champion. He runs a 4.3 40, and he has looked great in camp thus far.
3rd and 1 from the 12. San Diego leading 7-0. 8:50 to go in the first quarter, and they'll go to the air on 3rd and 1, and the catch is made inside the 10 for a first down by Jason Phillips.
One of the things about an offense like Atlanta, early in the season, they have a definite advantage. Receivers and quarterbacks work together much more quickly and more easily early in the year than the complexities of the defense trying to stop this kind of an offense. So Atlanta comes in here with an edge if it's even meaningful in this game.
Yeah, when you're a defensive football team, you don't spend any time working against the 4 receiver set during training camp. You're just trying to find out who can play, and you're working on installing your own base set. If you're the Chargers, having to play a 4 wide receiver team is just about as bad as it gets this early in the preseason.
Atlanta, that is their first Charge team timeout.
Atlanta takes a timeout. It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. 8:09 to go in the quarter. 7-0 Chargers.
Tenactin presents Tough Enough. What NFL head coach was tough enough to take on Minnesota Winters, the black and blue division, and still come out a winner?
Hey, hang around locker rooms like these guys, and you're bound to run into athlete's foot, and it could get tough. See, you get that itching and cracking stuff, and look, boom, even burning. Now, that's a really tough case, and that's when you want a medicine that acts tough. Boom, tough-actin Tenactin. You see, Tenactin cures even tough cases of athlete's foot fungus. It's clinically proven. No wonder it's the antifungal most recommended by pharmacists. Hey, you got a tough case of athlete's foot? Get this. Boom, tough-actin Tenactin.
Bud Grant's Vikings were a dominating force. Under his tough leadership, they won 11 Central Division titles, 3 NFC titles, and an NFL championship. Now he's in the Hall of Fame because Bud Grant is a tough act to follow.
The producers of Coach have brought you big laughs, great characters, and mighty moments of comedy. Now the Coach Gang brings you a smart new comedy, Blue Skies, coming this fall here on ABC.
Tonight, the inspiring story of nature's most powerful creature, the bear. And then Michael Chiklis stars in The Commish, all tonight, prime time, right here on ABC. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf, great to be back with you. 25th anniversary season of Monday Night Football. Per usual, we begin in Canton, Ohio, with the very first of the preseason games. There's a game tonight, in fact, at East Rutherford, New Jersey, as Miami takes on the Giants.
A quarter century of Monday Night Football.
Tell you
24 for me, and Dan, you're 8, and Al's 9. Good to be back with you guys.
Not a bad start there for Jeff George.
He leads them up 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. We have 8 minutes and 9 seconds to play first quarter. San Diego leading 7-0. Chargers scored in their opening drive.
Here's where Andre Rison comes to the forefront a lot of times.
And George looking in that direction and hits him for the touchdown.
Well, I'm just going to leave now.
Wayne Harper, the victim on that. Andre Rison had 86 receptions a year ago. He is a great receiver. More yards in his first 5 years than any other receiver in the history of the game. He'll put on a show for you after he catches it.
Well, that's why you mentioned that George and Rison should be a prolific combination. Rison and anybody is a prolific combination.
But early on, Dan, we just touched on it. Defenses you're not going to let Horizon be all alone out there, even against a good defender like Harper.
Well, Harper made the fine play on Horizon on the first play of the game, the first play of Atlanta's game when they had the ball. He made that sensational play down the sideline. That time just a step behind, and hey, on the quick post pattern into the end zone, Frank, playing a cornerback is not a fun spot.
Yeah, well, defenses have not had a chance to work this early in the year to get into the complexities of getting double coverage on people like Horizon in this situation.
And when you got 4 wide receivers, you got no safety sitting in the middle to help out. When you're the corner, you're all alone.
What is it about Ford Taurus that makes it America's best-selling car? Is it the number of ways it finds to protect you and your passengers? Its confident feel on the road? Or the fact that we improved it over 50 ways to make it the best Taurus ever? Whatever the reasons, you've made Ford Taurus the best-selling car in America. Again.
With Fixodent, I can stay active and as confident as I need to, all day.
Even in the hottest liquids, when other adhesives stop holding, Fixodent holds stronger and longer.
That's why I Fixodent and forget it. It's new.
Introducing Thompson's Water Seal Ultra Waterproofer.
It's better.
Easy to see coverage. Dries clear.
It's best.
The best multi-surface waterproofer you can buy. Beats the competition hands down. New Thompson's Ultra.
Not just better, best.
From the incredible start to the dramatic finish, see the whole story of one of the greatest spectacles in sports, the Tour de France, Sunday here on ABC.
In our paint box, the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, sitting right next to Interstate 77, a north-south interstate traversing the state of Ohio, and a scene here of well, thousands of visitors year-round come by to take a look at all of the displays.
By the way, Al and Frank, undergoing a huge expansion. I believe they currently have 50,000 square feet of exposition area, and I think that's going all the way up now to 80,000 as they're adding another 30,000 feet. Strong performance there by Jeff George. Perfect all the way down the field.
So Risen scores for Atlanta. Jefferson has scored for San Diego. 2 number 80s for the 2 touchdowns today. It's 7-7 midway through the first quarter. Todd Peterson kicks off for Atlanta. It's an angled kick. It's taken at the 13-yard line by Andre Coleman. And back he comes out to the 34. That's where the Chargers will take over.
By the way, try to remember that you are working with Gifford and Deerdorf today and not McCarver and Palmer.
Yeah, right.
You've been doing the crossover pretty good here lately. I want you to keep it straight.
I'm at about that stage in life where I'm very thankful for the reminder, believe me.
I caught him looking at his OAG here a moment ago trying to get to Minneapolis.
I think he was trying to get a peek what kind of underwear you're wearing. That's the only way you can tell the announcers.
Well, with Palmer, definitely, yeah.
Well, thank you for catching that.
At the 33-yard line.
You can always get a loan to buy them, too.
Here's Natron Means picking up a couple up to the 36-yard line, gain of 3. Tuggle in on the stop.
A little bit of a different defensive look for Atlanta this year as Tuggle goes to the outside. They call it their Falcon back. He is like a safety. They are basically going to be in a nickel all season long with 1 big linebacker and 2 conventional ones.
2nd and 7, and a flag goes down. And was his arm coming forward was the question initially. Then 2 flags come in, and we'll let Gary Lane's crew sort it out.
Those 2 Falcon backs will be Ford and George. We'll see a lot of them today working.
It's a hold against San Diego, the 2nd. Jim Bates is the defensive coordinator now for the Falcons. He comes down from Cleveland, and he brought Clay Matthews with him.
I mentioned before how Clay Matthews. Let's get the call here.
Holding offense, number 73. Penalties declined, 3rd down.
That's Isaac Davis. We talked about him, the rookie right guard. There he is, 73. He's lying on top of Pierce Holt. And it's going to be a full day for Isaac Davis. June Jones told us yesterday he's going to play at least 3/4 of the game. And that was a good look at Stan, just totally losing control of the ball.
3rd and 12 from the 31-yard line. Good protection. Humphrey slings one to the near side. It's caught. It's very close to a first down at the 43-yard line as the catch is made on the near side by Mark Say. And there's a look at Isaac Davis, a rookie out of Arkansas, chosen in the 2nd round.
Good solid 325, 330 pounds. It just becomes mind-boggling how that is moving into the range of normalcy with guards in the National Football League.
This is enough for a first down to the 43.
Let's take a look inside. That's Mo Gardner with the rush. There's Pierce Holt working on Davis. And that was a good job of Holt getting upfield and pressuring the quarterback, getting in his face. And Davis, again, was on the borderline of getting called for holding.
Whistle before the snap.
One thing when you're a rookie and you've got to play in the offensive line in the National Football League.
Delay, offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
There are 2 bad things that can happen to you. One is to get called for holding. The other is to have your man hit the quarterback. And my advice to anybody like Isaac Davis, take the hold, because it's far better than having your quarterback get smacked. There's Vaughn Parker, their other 2nd-round draft choice, and he will see a great deal of playing time to do today, most of that at left tackle, where he's playing behind Harry Swain.
1st and 15, Means again. Big hole through the middle for Natron Means, and that's a first down on a 16-yard gain to the Falcon 46.
Means with another burst. The opening play from scrimmage, he took about 30, 40 yards. Means and Marion Butts, they couldn't get both of them into the backfield enough playing time a year ago, so Butts has gone off to New England, and Means is going to be the man.
I'm not sure you could get them both in the same huddle. There are a couple of wide bodies at running back.
They certainly are. Means showing a lot of quickness with that wide body also.
7-7 is the score. 5:50 to go first quarter. First down San Diego at the Atlanta 46-yard line. Good play fake, buys time, and then through the hands of Means. He didn't catch very many passes last year. They'd like to get him more involved in the passing offense this year, but sees the first one thrown his way this year go right through his hands. When they go to a back through the air, well, that's the man they go to, Ronnie Harmon, who caught 73 balls last season.
And Means caught a grand total of 10. So there is no question. Who is the man?
Harmon was doing all the work, and rightfully so. Harmon, we're getting an amazing number of receptions, and those 70-plus receptions were on 3rd down for a first down.
2nd and 10. And the catch is not made by Mark Say, who comes up and said, look, I made it. Didn't hit the ground. Bobby Ross argues the call.
Well, it was right in front of Bobby Ross, and he didn't argue that vociferously.
It's not often you'll see a receiver coming up and saying, nah, I didn't get it. Oh, that ball is obviously on the ground.
That's what Bobby Ross saw.
And a good, well, more importantly, the guy in the striped shirt. There's Chris Dolman and the folks in Atlanta, and June Jones in particular, hoping he makes a huge impact.
3rd and 10, and he looks for Say again, cutting across the middle, and it's incomplete. So 4th down. And Stan Humphries, I would suspect, is finished for the day, playing about half the first quarter.
I think the happiest guy in Atlanta that Chris Dolman has arrived has to be Pierce Holt. Holt came in last year from the 49ers, expected to make a big difference, and ended up being double teamed, triple teamed, had to play through about a half a dozen injuries. But with Dolman on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage, is really going to open things up inside for that guy, Pierce Holt.
He's going to work Noga in there somewhere, too.
Here's the Australian, Darren Bennett, who used to play Australian rules football, getting a chance to punt today. And it's a short, wobbly kick that rolls dead at the 17-yard line.
One more like that, and he'll be back in Rugby Union.
Frank, it was inside the 20-yard line. He'll go over there and tell him he did it on purpose.
He didn't plan on that.
Not bad, mate. 5:23 remaining in the first quarter, and there was a late flag that was dropped by the officiating crew. So late, we have our commercial thing going.
Do you see a flag on the field?
I didn't see one, but Gary Lane is indicating that
it's real late.
Something happened.
I still don't even see one.
Ineligible, downfield, on the kicking team. Number 50, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Yeah, I was on top of it. There should have been one.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to throw one, let it fly there for a while. We can't.
Going to give us a chance to take a look at the Australian kicker again. They have Ken Sullivan penciled in to be their punter this year. John Kidd was not re-signed, but Bennett has a chance here to show what he can do.
Well, now we'll see if he did that on purpose or not. Yep. Pressure's really on now.
That last punt was 28 yards.
But it was inside the 20, so it was an effective kick. He did it again.
That's a short effective kick, but yeah.
That's a bad break, but that was an excellent punt. It landed at the 10-yard line. That was an excellent punt by Bennett.
And that was high enough for better coverage in that also.
Oh,
all right.
Oh, here comes the music.
Yeah, we'll put another shrimp on the Barbie and be back right after this.
Okay, crocodile.
All right, Chief. Open wide. Come on. Look, Daddy loves corn pops. See? And here it comes.
The problem with a cereal that tastes like popcorn, only sweeter, is that it disappears like popcorn, only faster.
Y'all finished? Good boy.
He may want seconds.
Kellogg's Corn Pops. It's hard to stop when it's Pops.
The winds of change are blowing away old ideas and bringing the all-new Ford Windstar, a totally new minivan. Windstar's innovative design moves the wheels out, stretching the wheelbase, creating the most passenger and cargo room of all leading minivans. And with a quieter interior, Windstar takes the minivan in a whole new direction. The all-new front-wheel drive Ford Windstar. The future of minivans begins today.
Will be. All right, let's check in with Len Swan. What you got, Len?
Stan Humphries wasn't using that radio helmet device because he couldn't hear, and I don't think it's because the device doesn't work. It's because his speakers are in the shoulder pads, and I think it's just a problem finding the correct fit for a helmet for him. I see Gail Gilbert is on the sideline. He's warming up. I think he's going to go in the game soon, but he has a radio frequency device in his helmet, so it will be interesting to see if they decide to try and use it with him.
Are we to deduce from all this that Stan has an unusual head in some way?
In some way, shape, or form, I do believe so.
How about just fat size? Swanee, get into this now. I got to find out. In other words, can he not get a helmet? Is his head too big for his helmet?
Bobby Ross said that yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
It looks like an ordinary head.
And it's only the first quarter, and we're into this. First down.
It's a preseason.
First down, Falcons at the 20-yard line. Bob Galliano is the new quarterback. So we've seen Jeff George for the day. And number 34 should be familiar to you. He is a somewhat slimmed-down Craig Ironhead Hayward. Longtime Saint, spent last year with the Chicago Bears. Ironhead's been battling his weight throughout his career. He was up to, at one point, they said 330 last year. And now he's more like a svelte 270.
It's the first time that we've ever had a conversation with one of Ironhead's coaches in the preseason where he has not said that his weight is a problem. So maybe Ironhead has learned a little something, is getting ready to do something.
There's a flag down. There was movement in the line. Looked like the Chargers jumped across, but were they induced?
We'll deduce that in a moment.
Gary Lane's crew getting a first quarter workout. 4:33 remaining in the period.
Offsides, defense, number 94. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Chris Mims, as you look at Bill Arnsparger, the defensive coordinator, former New York Giant head coach, a man who's been coaching since the age of 23. He's now 67.
And one of the best in the business. They brought him in, in 92 with Bobby Ross. The defense turned around in remarkable fashion. They went 11-5. They won, 11 of their last 12 games to get into the playoffs, and they credited much of that success to Bill Arnsparger.
Second down and inches from the 30-yard line as Galliano throws, has the first down. The catch is made by Jason Phillips. Phillips has a chance to to see a lot of action because of the revamped receiving corps. Atlanta kept Andre Rison, but they let Michael Haynes go to New Orleans, and they traded Mike Pritchard to Denver, so a new cast of characters outside for the run and shoot.
So Drew Hill in there as we look at it again now. But those three receivers who are not with this team any longer, they had 180 receptions a year ago.
And
so
there is
that's revamped.
One of the new receivers. Number 6 is Ricky Sanders, longtime Washington Redskin, but not quite in playing shape, so in uniform, but will not play today. First down, Galliano fires. It's intercepted at the 43-yard line. That's Darren Carrington. He had 7 during the regular season last year and brings it back to the Atlanta 44-yard line.
Well, and that's a ball that looked like it just floated on Galliano. That ball just, you'll see it every now and then. It just gets too much air underneath it and sails. And Frank, that one took off and right into the chest of Carrington.
You know, I think Galliano is on today just so other teams could get a look at him. And he has a pretty good relationship with June Jones. And I think that's one of the reasons he's in here, to impress other teams. He just floated one up there and he paid the price. Coming from the backside, he takes a pop.
Almost looked like because there was some pressure up the middle, too. He may have altered his throwing motion a little bit, not following all the way through.
Gail Gilbert is the new Charger quarterback, and he begins by throwing complete to Alfred Papunu for a short gain.
Boy, here's somebody that's been around a long time, Gail Gilbert. 9 years, and haven't heard a whole lot of him because he's been playing up in Buffalo behind Jim Kelly.
And Frank Reich. Yeah. That's a long way from getting much playing time.
That's the bad news. He didn't play. The good news, he didn't get beat up much either.
He hasn't thrown a pass in a regular season game since 1990, and it's second down and 6 from the 41-yard line, and the ball is handed to Eric Bieniemy. And a flag goes down as Bieniemy gets taken out of bounds inside the 32-yard line. Anthony Phillips was there for the tackle, but it's coming back. It's against San Diego, and that's the 3rd holding call against the Chargers in the first quarter.
Better not be number 73 again. It'll be a trip to the woodshed for Isaac Davis.
.322 left in the quarter.
Holding offense, number 81, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Tony Martin, the wide receiver acquired from Miami.
And a wide receiver that has impressed Bobby Ross and his staff with his speed, and he always had that down with the Miami Dolphins. He just could never crack into that lineup. But the 2 marks was never the featured receiver there, and could well be here.
Second down 15 now at the 49-yard line. Game time 7-7 late in the first quarter. Gilbert, good protection, and then Harmon has it slip through his fingers at the 45-yard line.
Talked about Ronnie Harmon a short while ago, another former Buffalo Bill, but he has been the 3rd down man, go-to man for the Chargers now for several years. Uncharacteristically does not handle this one. It's a little double move, widens away from his receiver, and doesn't hold on for the first down.
3rd and 15 for San Diego. 3:04 left first quarter in the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. The game tie 7-7. Deep drop. Gilbert protected well and finds the open man at the 33-yard line. That's enough for a first down. Chris Thomas makes the catch. A 16-yard gain when they needed 15.
A good look at what happens when the pocket in front of the quarterback is so stable that he gets that vision lane down the field to see between the hash marks, and Gilbert was able to just put it right down there. But that started with just a textbook example of how to protect your quarterback and open up the middle so that he can see between the hash marks.
And through the middle again, but Harmon nearly gets decapitated, and it was almost picked off by Darnell Walker. Ronnie Harmon, the intended receiver. The contact was made. The interception was almost made, and it will be second down and 10.
Walker saying, I should have had that one, as Gilbert threw it into a crowd of Atlanta defenders.
I know a lot of you in Atlanta and San Diego in particular are tuning in going, what are these guys wearing? The National Football League is doing some throwback weekends where they are having the teams wear their old uniforms
Gilbert has this one dropped at the 27-yard line by Mike Dial.
The Chargers are wearing a uniform that they wore in 1961. The Falcons are wearing the uniform that they wore in 1971. Now, the Falcons now have black helmets and black jerseys. You look at that helmet, and I think of Steve Bartkowski throwing the football.
And on the other side, you think of Jack Kemp throwing the football.
They are not that dissimilar from what they wear now, but as this season progresses, and we're doing, I think, a Chicago-Green Bay game in late October, and then you'll really see what throwback uniforms are.
Some of them even have leather on the front of the jerseys. They do.
3rd and 10, and it's almost intercepted again. And it would have been pretty clear sailing for the defensive back had he come up with it that time, as Anthony Phillips was there, stepping in front of the intended receiver.
Gilbert almost had 2 picked off in this particular series. Not a whole lot on the ball. Might point out, Dan, this is, as you said, all of this with the jersey changes, the throwback jerseys, is celebrating the 75th anniversary of the NFL, which began in 1920 right here in Canton, Ohio.
Here comes another new rule, by the way. If you miss a field goal from here, and this is a 51-yarder, the ball is going to come back at the spot of the placement. In other words, the 41-yard line, and Carney's kick is no good. So it used to go back to the line of scrimmage. Now it's going to cost you another 7 or 8 yards. Instead of it being spotted at the, let's say, 34-yard line, in this particular case, it's going to come out to the 41-yard line.
And that is all a reflection of what happened a year ago when the highest percentage of NFL points were scored on field goals in his history.
Well, and it's all to make it easier to drive towards one goal, and that is that there are more points scored in the National Football League. If you took 1993 versus 1983, the total scoring per game was down about 6 points in a 10-year span, and the NFL has put in some new rules to try to bump and nudge that scoring upward.
Atlanta takes over at the 41 with a game time at 7-7. Galliano gets hit from behind and sacked by Rayleigh Johnson. Well, the prevailing philosophy for the league is more offense equals more excitement. So all of the rules put in this year were intended to do just that, to increase the scoring, to make sure you have more run backs. The 2-point conversion, I think, is going to be very interesting, not on a sustaining basis, but clearly in games where you're down by 8 toward the end.
I think it's very wise of the NFL. They realize that this is part of the entertainment industry, and it's entertaining when teams score points. And right now, the defense is in a dominating mode. I think it's cyclical. We have seen it before where the defense gains the upper hand and then the offense starts creeping back into it. Right now we need the offense to do more than creep back into it, but to take a nice sized jump.
Defense was in a dominating mode right there on Ironhead Hayward, who was stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Lawrence Parker looking out to his defensive team. Another rule that they have not changed, but they're going to enforce more diligently this year, and that is against the cornerbacks. And they are 5-yard zone, which they're allowed to bump a wide receiver. They're going to call that very carefully this year. He won't be getting away with an arm in front of the receiver anymore.
3rd and 16, final minute of the first quarter. The game tied 7-7. Underneath, a little screen is set up, and then Hayward falls down at the 42. He still needed another 9 for a first down, so he's considerably shy of that mark, and the Falcons are forced to punt.
Well, you take a divot there.
Yeah. Well, our preseason schedule continues, and we'll go to Monday night. A week from this Monday, we will be at Rich Stadium in Buffalo. Norv Turner is the new head coach of the Washington Redskins. He'll bring his team into Orchard Park to take on the 4-time AFC champion Buffalo Bills with Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas. Monday night preseason football a week from Monday. Scott Tyner punts, and at the 15-yard line, a fair catch was not called for. The ball is loose.
Well, even
Atlanta has it.
Well, even without a fair catch, you still have to give the man a yard to catch the ball, and boy, was that close.
That's what they're talking over right now, but oh, what a smack.
I'm sure the Chargers are arguing that we didn't get a fair opportunity to field the ball. You have got to give a yard separation and allow the return man, and there comes the flag.
Elbert Shelley is 37. He went to the Pro Bowl as a special team performer.
And that should have been called, and I believe it's going to be called now. You have got to give the man a clean opportunity to field the punt.
And obviously that was not the case. Maybe there was another infraction. Interference with the opportunity for a catch. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, that's Elbert Shelley, number 37, and that, even though it came in late, that was good officiating. That's where, when you see the officials get together and discuss what they all saw, that's one of the benefits of an officiating staff that's not afraid to do that.
You can see it's a major too, not 5 yards, just 15 yards.
You know, one way to induce more scoring, you could make that like a 60-yard penalty. All of a sudden, they get the ball down on the 20 and take it from there.
Why not make it 4 points? From the 27-yard line on what will be the final play of the quarter, this is Eric Bieniemy. Going next to nowhere. And that will do it for the first quarter of the 1994 exhibition season from Canton, Ohio. It's Atlanta 7, San Diego 7.
This is a bucket of water, and this is the new Goodyear Eagle Aqua Tread for performance cars. A wide performance tire with twin aqua channels to sweep water away for outstanding wet traction. New Eagle Aqua Tread, only from Goodyear.
Alternative math. 1% rich plus 1 hash brown plus 1 coffee equals $1.99 every day. Add it to your morning at Burger King.
We may not be the world's #1 fast food place. It just tastes that way.
He was perhaps the greatest running back the game has ever known. And on the day he set the NFL's all-time rushing record, his uniform was sent to the Hall of Fame. His own arrival was only a matter of time.
Hi, I'm Walter Payton. My induction into Pro Football's Hall of Fame is an honor that will always be special to me. But that honor was made even more special because my son Jared presented me for enshrinement, something that no other son has done for his father.
Your friends and your fans, I say congratulations too.
We're both thrilled with the Hall itself. A treasure chest of football history with its regal enshrinement gallery, its action theater, its authentic mementos and exhibitions. From 100 years of pro football, the Hall does more than celebrate the game I love. It lets the future touch the past.
The Hall of Fame, where legends never die and the season never ends. This message furnished by the National Football League.
Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, and Dan Dierdorf back with the 25th season of Monday Night Football. Well, there's a guy. That's Cedric Figaro of Atlanta, clearly ready for Yom Kippur. Now that is, that's about, I mean, that may win the prize. It's only the first game of the year, but that's the all-time hairstyle.
No. Vance Johnson had the all-time hairstyle.
And he's in the game. We'll get to him later.
Yeah.
From the 28-yard line as we start the second quarter, this is Eric Bieniemy taking it out to the 34.
Vance is toned down. I ran into him in the elevator last night. He's very stylish now.
What was that, 2 years ago, 3 years ago in Denver, where Vance showed up with this pompadour hair. Even Dan Reeves was mortified at the, how should I call it, the artistic stylings of the
way
Vance.
you said even Dan Reeves.
Well, Dan doesn't normally comment on the haircuts of his players.
I think he called it a cockamamie coiffure. On third down and 4. Gilbert throws, and it's caught up at the 41-yard line by Mike Dial for a first down. First minute of the second quarter at Fawcett Stadium in Canton, Ohio. 7-7 is the score. Fawcett Stadium, a stadium on which Dan Dierdorf used to go through his exploits as a high schooler.
Well, it's the home field of all the, when I was in high school, all of the Canton City high schools. It's now Canton McKinley, their home field. And high school football in Ohio is big stuff.
Over the middle, Bieniemy makes the catch and is taken down at the 49. He's a little short of the first down. Alton Montgomery, the ex-Bronco, makes the tackle.
You look at this stadium, and those of you that are listening in various parts of the country, you'd be surprised how often this stadium is filled for a high school football game. 24,000 people plus can jam in here, and of course, when you're right next door to the Hall of Fame, you could say that this is a football-rich area.
I commented on that a few years ago, Dan.
Yes,
I'm going to let it
and
lay
Frank,
there.
they still talk about it.
2nd and 1. Bieniemy cuts it back, cuts up the first down. Eric Bieniemy takes it to the 43-yard line.
I think I alluded to the fact.
Oh, Frank, are you sure you want to go into this?
Just like you and the Buffalo weather. I think I'll just let it lay there.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We're going to Buffalo next week.
Oh, well, I know you'd want me to bring
with
it up.
friends like you.
They play so much football at this stadium that there's some talk now about putting down an artificial surface next year here.
Well, there may not be a lot of grass left by the end of this game. It's coming up in sizable chunks.
First down, Chargers from the 43-yard line. Bieniemy again. Flag. And again in a position where it could very well be another holding call. Montgomery makes the tackle.
Well, it's early in the preseason. The techniques are sloppy. A lot of rookies in the line.
Holding, offense, number 60, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Greg Engel, a rookie from Illinois. Well, but so many changes this year. You take a look at the Chargers. Miller gone. Lewis, the wide receiver, is also gone. Butts was their leading rusher. Zandowski now plays for the Falcons. Grossman with the Eagles. Blaze Winter goes to Tampa. Plummer is now with the 49ers. Hendrickson with the Raiders. Donald Frank, a corner to the Browns. The Chargers losing their top receiver and their top rusher, but they feel that they can make up for the loss of Miller with others, and Means has taken over for Marion Butts. And there's a screen to Bieniemy. He takes it to the 39-yard line. He's 6 yards shy of a first down.
And on top of that, what is really a huge list of people lost by the Chargers, they also have 5 new coaches on their coaching staff. So Bobby Ross is in the midst, along with Bobby Beathard, of a huge transition here with the San Diego Chargers, both on the field and on the coaching staff as well.
But Al mentioned a moment ago, but league-wide, what is it, something like 290 players changed teams this year? So it isn't just peculiar to San Diego, even though they were affected a little more dramatically than other teams.
A little more than 10 per team.
Good move, baby. And that last graphic we saw, that's really indicative of the size of the change that's going on here, where the leading rusher and the leading receiver are gone.
Ralph Friedgen, one of the new coaches there. He's the offensive coordinator now for the San Diego Chargers.
Now, having said all that, this is not a team without a lot of tools still at their disposal. You know, we talk about Butts being gone, but he's replaced by Means. That's a choice that the Chargers were willing to make. Even though that Anthony Miller is gone, they feel that Sean Jefferson is ready to become the main guy. So it's not a case of pity.
Here's Harmon making the catch and picking up the first down, as he does so often during the regular season. On 3rd down and 7, Ronnie Harmon takes the swing and converts. 10:45 remaining in the first half. Game tied 7-7.
The last couple of years, about 150 receptions for Ronnie Harmon, and as we commented earlier, so many of them were just like the one you saw for a 3rd down, 1st down. Fine receiver coming out of the backfield. Real good moves.
I'm sure Gail Gilbert appreciates the fact that he's still in the ballgame.
Yes.
1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Here's Bieniemy. Bieniemy's looking pretty good. Now here's a guy who is not going to be their #1 running back. He has been somewhat of a disappointment since they drafted him in the 2nd round a couple of years ago out of Colorado, and a chance for Eric to assert himself, and he'll get quite a bit of playing time if he looks good during preseason, because even though Means is the main guy, he's going to need some rest from time to time, obviously.
Face mask, defense, number 26, 5 yards, 1st down.
The enemy came up short of the first, but they'll pick it up on the face mask, and the enemy is very short, 5'7", 198-pounder, but he has good, quick moves.
I think it's Anthony Phillips there at the conclusion of the play. You see he's got the right hand on the face mask of Bieniemy, and
Well, I think when you're that small and you run that low, you draw a lot of face masks.
Well, he made the nice move there at the end, Frank. He had the option of heading to the sideline or turning it upfield. He took it upfield and went after the hard yards. I think we saw some movement there on both sides of the line. If that's the case, that'll go against San Diego.
False start, offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
One of the things we're going to have to watch for this. That's right. Were you going to say this?
I was going to talking about the offensive tackles being able to set up further, back into the backfield.
I was going to talk about, and which they can do. They're going to let the offensive linemen set a little bit farther off the ball again to aid in the protection of the quarterback.
Would you have liked that?
Oh, absolutely. The farthest, the farther you can get away from the line of scrimmage, the more you can separate yourself from that defensive end, the easier your job becomes.
First and 15. The enemy takes it to the 14-yard line.
Another rule change that we'll see come into play this year is, and this is a little harder to talk about, but if we see that defensive lineman jump across the ball and he enters that neutral zone, if he's over there and he entices that offensive lineman to break his stance, to come out from his three-point stance, that will now be a penalty on the defense. In the past, that was always a penalty on the offense. If the offensive lineman moved, it was a penalty on the offense. Now it's going to be a penalty against the defense.
On 2nd and 12, it is incomplete as he tried to thread the needle in the end zone to Deems May, number 88, tight end. Deems May covered by Scott Case.
Well, whether it's deflected or not, Gilbert threading the needle. He was throwing between 3 defenders. And I think he got it in there, and May just lost the concentration for a moment. Was it touched? I don't believe so. Just couldn't handle it. Well thrown by Gilbert. Again, has that opening down the middle. It looked like he had a hand on it, but the spiral didn't break.
3rd down and 12, and the catch is made inside the 10. This is Tony Vincent. He gets it to the 7-yard line, but he's short of the first down. He's a rookie out of Towson State, same school that produced Dave Meggett. And the field goal unit comes in.
We've been talking about all these rule changes. If the defense had a negotiator and the offense had a negotiator, I think it's safe to say that the defensive negotiator would not be back next year. The rule changes this year were heavily slanted towards the offensive side of things.
What we have is a benevolent dictatorship up on top.
Here's Carney, a 24-yard field goal attempt. Last year, Carney at the beginning of the year was spectacular. Over 2 seasons, he made 29 in a row, a new NFL record. And Carney's kick is good. So with 7:59 to go in the first half, San Diego reassumes the lead. It's the Chargers 10 and the Falcons 7.
A lot of little touches go into every new Plymouth Neon. A very powerful 132 horsepower engine, a spacious cab-forward interior, and a special chip-resistant finish. And oh, one more thing, dual airbag protection. So it always practices safe driving. Say hello to Plymouth Neon. $94.75 for starters, $13,000 nicely equipped. Highly huggable, low price at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
It's amazing how the right color can enhance and brighten a room.
Well, we both went down to Sears. We found this great selection of paint.
Through Saturday, Sears has every gallon of paint on sale. Thousands of beautiful contemporary colors.
With Weather Beater, I think we'll sell the house before we paint again.
Save 10 to 30% a gallon on every color, every brand. Easy Living, Weather Beater, Dutch Boy. For the best finish, start at Sears, bringing America's best to you.
The feeling that we wanted, Sears matched. It worked out beautifully.
The AFC-NFC Hall of Fame game, brought to you by the creators of Neon. Say hello to Plymouth Neon.
It's the Hall of Fame game, opener of the NFL preseason schedule in Canton, Ohio, 10-7. And there's another new rules change as San Diego has taken the lead, and as they get ready to kick off, the tee could formally be 3 inches. Up to 3 inches high. Now it's only 1 inch. So The theory is that sending it back to the 30-yard line and lowering the tee will create a lot more runbacks, and I guarantee you it will.
Some of the things they found out were some of the kickers were actually turning that 3-inch tee upside down, picking up the inch thickness, so it was the sole of the tee, and then actually kicking off a 4-inch platform. So
that
again,
makes a heck of a difference.
It's a game of field position. It always has been. It always will be. And a lot of the rule changes put in effect here in 1994 are to give the offense better field position.
Carney's kick taken at the 3-yard line. Tony Smith. Well, there's a case right there where exactly you had a situation where last year that kick would have been a couple of yards deep in the end zone and maybe even further than that with a 3-inch tee.
I don't think that would have been run back a year ago.
Right, and here it's a run back. Well, it's Hall of Fame weekend, and Jackie Smith, the great former tight end of the St. Louis Cardinals, who spent a year with Dallas, is joining us. Congratulations to you, sir. And,
thank you very much,
What was today like for you, Jackie?
Unbelievable. Really incredible. These people in Canton are unbelievable. All this labor of love that they put into this event is really astounding. I mean, the organization that goes into it just overwhelms you. And I think everybody's been overwhelmed by it. It's just been a magnificent day.
16 years?
Jack, 16 years. Fooled them that long.
You got all the knees, you got the shoulders.
I still got the knees, I still got the shoulders. I almost look as good as you. I mean, Jesus, what kind of cream are you taking?
You know, you have amazing statistics. Dan and I were talking last night. It isn't the numbers of catches, but the average per yard. I think it's somewhere around 18-yard average over your career.
I think it was only 16, I think. But
well accepted. Being gracious, but it was just fascinating to
me.
Thank
you very much. That came, as you know, when we first started. They weren't used for a tight end getting downfield and into the backfield. All the guys were big, and here we came out a little bit smaller and a little bit faster. And we got down to tight end. The tight safeties weren't used to seeing us down there like that. So it worked out good for a couple of years, and then they caught on and caught up.
Here's Galliano on second down, scrambling out of bounds. What was it like playing with Deerdorf? That's the one question I always wanted to ask you.
Well, I've never met this guy before. What's your name again?
It's Bats McGillicuddy. But anyway, playing with him was great because everybody started thinking I was a great blocker. When we especially when you double team, he took the guy out. I mean, he was gone. And a couple of times, if I was a little bit late getting there and he got there first, I got blocks too. And so it was great being with him. I mean, it was just beautiful.
This is not an unusual thing to have had the two of us side by side. What do you think about, here I am, a rookie. I show up in St. Louis in 1971. And what do I get to do? I get to line up next to our tight end, Jackie Smith, a Hall of Famer. Jackie, I know this has been a long, long time coming for you. This is not your first year of eligibility. You had to wait for this one. You had to watch John Mackey and Mike Ditka, two other tight ends, get into the Hall of Fame. Was it worth the wait?
Oh, absolutely. It came at a time in my life when it was absolutely almost essential that something happened as far as picking up our family a little bit. You know what happened there, but no, it was real worth the wait for a lot of reasons. And so I'm ecstatic, and I'm looking forward to being here next year when Dan Deerdorf is up there trying to see if he can keep him choking up.
All I know is that I had to play a number of years in the NFL. We'll watch this huge run up the middle. What a
Ironhead.
Ironhead takes it up. But imagine this. I played a number of years in the NFL with Jackie Smith lined up to my right and Conrad Dobler lined up to my left. And to this day, I can't figure out which one of you is crazy.
Now, no, I thought we were friends. I'm out of here.
Jackie, congratulations.
Terrific. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Jackie, I'm so proud of you.
Thanks,
I love you,
I love you too. Thanks, Dad.
Jackie Smith, new Hall of Famer. Congratulations.
Thanks so
Jackie.
much. Thanks, guys.
1st and 10 for the Atlanta Falcons now as they cross midfield at the 49-yard line. And the pass by Galliano is knocked down. So the Falcons picked up a couple of first downs on this drive. And then Israel Stanley knocks it down with 5:07 to go in the first half. And the Chargers leading 10-7.
Al talked about the many new receivers we'd be watching, and we were having a good look today at David Mims. He was a tailback at Baylor in his second year. Of course, the Falcons having lost, as we said earlier, Pritchard, Haynes, and Hill, and we're going to see also a lot of Jason Phillips in today's action.
2nd and 10, and Ironhead Hayward. And we've grown used to seeing that type of run from number 34, taking it to the 40-yard line. Ironhead not looking for a starting role the way the Falcon offense operates with the run and shoot. Eric Pegram's going to be the guy, but he can be a very valuable addition if he can just keep himself in real good playing shape through the course of the season.
I mentioned earlier how Jeff George fit right into this offense, and Ironwood Hayward could fit into it very well too. The single back, you got to be able to block, you got to be able to pick up because you draw a lot of blitzes. You got to get a lot of double coverage on blocks. He could fit into this offense very well.
3rd and a short 2, and the catch is made. That's a first down. This is Terrence Mathis, the former New York Jet. He's out of bounds at the 27-yard line. A nice little march here by the Falcons with Bob Galliano at the helm. We saw Jeff George earlier. We will not see Bobby Hebert today. We will see, before this game is done, a rookie from CW Post, Perry Klein. There is Bobby Hebert, the longtime Saint, who had a good season with the Falcons last year, but he's had a couple of surgeries done during the offseason. Not that he couldn't play today, but June Jones feeling that they have 5 games. He'll get plenty of action. He wants to see George, and he wants to take a look at Galliano and Klein today as well.
There aren't many other teams in the league with the quality of their top 2 quarterbacks like Atlanta.
Here is Ironhead on a little screen to the 21-yard line for a gain of 6.
You know, all in all, Dan, they have really turned this team around. Jerry Glanville had 2 6-10 seasons, and he's out of there, and June Jones comes in. You look at what they've done with the free agency. We talked about San Diego. They have changed the whole character of this team. We talked about the defense, bringing in Matthews and Dolman and Noga, and this is a different football team under June Jones, and they've done a real fine job, I think, in going into the free agency market and coming up with good people.
It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out during the regular season, because June is doing things vastly differently than Jerry did it. They're not having as physical a training camp. You know, Mike Ken, they're ageless, it seems. Left tackle talked about that it's, you know, it's not a tough guy contest every day trying to prove who the tough guys are. And it's not knocking the way Glanville did it, and it's not saying the way June Jones is doing it is right. It's just going to be interesting to see how it plays out over the season, because June is his own man and has changed a lot of things.
And he doesn't keep his Harley in his bedroom.
No.
Or his hotel room.
No, but that wasn't all bad.
No, it's a good Harley.
You do have to admire a guy that keeps a Harley in his bedroom.
3rd, unless you're living next door. 3rd and 1 at the 18-yard line. 10th play of the drive. As Galliano throws, and Woodbine is down and intercepted. The pass was deflected. It was intercepted by the Chargers, and running it all the way back will be Willie Clark, a Notre Dame rookie, for the touchdown.
Well, that's not a bad way for a rookie to make an impression in his first preseason action. Although it's served up on a silver platter right in front of you.
3rd round draft pick out of Notre Dame.
Darrell Spencer couldn't hold it, number 84, and there is the
in the
aforementioned rookie.
As it happens so often, it just seems to fall right into your arms. And that was the case with Willie Clark right there. Michael Williams makes the hit and knocks it loose, and at least the defender that was closest to the action. And the Chargers all over the Falcons.
Extra point by Carney is good. Take another look at the hit that creates it with 2:15 remaining in the first half. The Charger lead is now 10.
Pringles Light has become Pringles Right Crisps. Still a 1/3 less fat, and now better taste than this.
That's right! Got new Pringles Right Crisps! That's right! Less fat and better taste than this! That's right! Better taste and less grease, the proof's right here you see! That's right! It's not a chip up salmon fly! Pringles Right Crisps, the taste of here! Pringles Right Crisps, the taste of here!
Ah, yes, the guinea pig. When a new car comes out, nobody wants to be one. This past year, a number of pioneering souls bought the new Chrysler Concorde. Did they make the right decision? Among 129 new models sold, the Concorde was in the top 10 in owner satisfaction, along with Lexus and Mercedes, proving that sometimes good things come to those who don't wait. The Chrysler Concorde, an eloquent expression of form following function.
Sunday, the scandalous Georgia love affair.
Get away from my wife.
That led to the ultimate sin. Barbara Hershey in Stay the Night. Sunday here on ABC.
2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the first half in Canton, Ohio. The Chargers leading 17-7 after an 86-yard interception run back by the rookie Willie Clark. And Atlanta will get the ball. We've already talked to Jackie Smith, one of the new enshrinees. And before the half is over, we'll have a chance to visit with Bud Grant, the great coach of the Minnesota Vikings, who went in as well today. And a reminder that coming up next following the game, a special edition of Wide World of Sports featuring the Goodwill Games from St. Petersburg, just across the bay from Tampa. You know what I mean.
It's a huge bay, too.
I want to see if you're paying attention. The former Leningrad in the former Soviet Union. St. Petersburg, Goodwill Games, action following football.
My history. Was that also Stalingrad at one time? I thought you'd be on top of that.
Is this a test? Down to the 6-yard line, Tony Smith has nowhere to roam and runs into a passel of white shirts at the 11-yard line. 2:05 remaining in the first half, and we'll return to Canton in just a moment.
Four-wheel, fully independent suspension. 24 valves, 214 horses. Speed proportional steering. Four-wheel ABS and computerized traction control. And cab-forward design for greater stability. At last, an American luxury car that can make these feel like invitations instead of warnings. Presenting the Chrysler LHS, an eloquent expression of form following function.
Now, to each man who shaves, there's an edge all his own. Only Edge Gel has 8 custom formulas to fit every shaving need. From tough beards to sensitive skin, for a close, comfortable shave, get an edge of your own. Edge Gel, skincare for men. Ultimate closeness, ultimate comfort. That's the Edge.
Jim Kelly and the defending AFC champion Buffalo Bills host the Washington Redskins. It's a primetime NFL preseason special, August 8th on ABC.
Use better language, though.
And that game will be the first of 3 Monday night preseason games we'll have for you. Washington, Buffalo on the 8th. And then on the 15th, it's Dallas against Houston. That game's going to be played in Mexico City. They've already sold more than 100,000 seats. It's going to be a wild night, August 15th. And then on the 22nd, we go to Arrowhead, where they've installed grass this year. And Kansas City is going to take on the Chicago Bears, and that means Joe Montana on the 22nd.
You know, the Houston-Dallas game out will be the largest crowd ever for an NFL game.
Yeah. And the reason it'll be so wild is that the stadium only has 50,000 seats. So there's...
I hope they put the Dallas fans on one side, the Houston fans on the other.
Just kidding.
Here at Canton, Ohio, before a capacity crowd that numbers 23 to 24,000. We have 2:05 to go in the half. San Diego leads 17-7. And Atlanta has the ball at its own 11-yard line, 1st and 10. Bob Galliano is the quarterback. And Galliano stepping up with his receivers covered, takes it up to the 20. That's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. We'll take a break here, and when we come back, we'll be talking with Bud Grant. 17-7, San Diego.
To soothe athlete's foot, Desinex does it. But to cure athlete's foot, Desinex does it. Only Desinex has UDA to both soothe the discomfort and kill the fungus. To soothe and cure, Desinex does it all.
Rust is tough, but Krylon, the leader in spray paint, is tougher. Krylon Rust Tough goes on Krylon smooth, dries Krylon fast. protects Krylon Tough. Rust may be tough, but Krylon Rust Tough is tougher.
A lot of little touches go into every new Plymouth Neon. A very powerful 132 horsepower engine, a spacious cab forward interior, dual airbags, and a special Plymouth Neon chip-resistant finish. And oh, there's one more thing. Appeal. Say hello to Plymouth Neon. $94.75 for starters, $13,000 nicely equipped. Highly huggable, low price at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
The inspiring story of an orphan cub struggling to survive in the wild. A remarkable film, The Bear, Saturday on ABC.
Yes. Well, Bud Grant went into the Hall of Fame today. He joins us in the booth. Bud, what was your reaction when you found out that you had been elected to the Hall of Fame?
Well, it's not something you can plan for or look forward to. It happens. You don't know how sometimes. You don't know why. And when it did happen, of course, it became more thrilling. And now, after today, it's one of your highlights of your life, as Frank will tell you. Yeah. And Dan's going to tell us very soon.
When they ticked off the reasons why, we'll hear at halftime, and we see the actual induction ceremony when part of your speech. It's well deserved. There's no question. I think a lot of people don't remember you as a great coach. They remember you as a great player at Philadelphia and a great player up in Canada, of course, and a #1 draft pick of Philadelphia. I think that was lost on a lot of people with your success as a coach.
Well. It wasn't lost on my kids that were here today. We had all the family and extended family, and came down here in a bus with 32 people from 2 to 85 years old.
I think a lot of people wouldn't realize that Bud Grant kind of lost it today, but it was a teary moment, wasn't it?
Well, hey, I probably am in the majority of people who've been inducted. A lot of things flash in front of your face very quickly, and you look at all those other inductees sitting behind you, the Nitschkes and the Bednariks, and doesn't take much.
But one of the things you talked about that I really enjoyed was the environment in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
What a tremendous place both to live, but to play football. That was going to the Met on a snowy December day was a special deal.
It was great. Canton will rival that. This is a great football community, a great football part of the world. The reception we received here is second to none.
The burning question is, if today would have been the opening day of duck season, would you have made it? You're one of the great outdoorsmen of all time.
Now that I'm retired, I may have had a stand-in.
Hey, Bud, you came back once before. You retired, but then you came back to coach the Vikings in '85. Would you ever consider coaching again?
Not that I found out, now that I found out how the other people live. You know, I never knew what an August was.
Yeah.
I still know what August is.
I still don't.
You still don't, yeah. You're the same category.
Well, it's hardly the equivalent of what a coach has to do, and when you invest that many hours and that many years of your life in something, to be rewarded like this is as good as it gets. Congratulations.
Well, thanks a lot. 36 years has been great. This is better.
So deserved, buddy.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Bud Grant, congratulations.
Okay.
Thanks. New member of the Hall of Fame as we're in the waning moments of the first half here at Canton, Ohio, and Darrell Spencer made the last catch up at the 31-yard line. Atlanta had taken a timeout, conserving the clock. Clock now running again, 1:10. Second down and 1 at the 31-yard line. San Diego leading 17-7. And it's a one-hopper, incomplete. Bird Emanuel, the intended receiver.
Felt like asking Bud if he was going to be on time for the induction, too. He drove him all kind of crazy about showing up for the Super Bowl late that time. I think it was Pete Rozelle who slapped a fine on him for that.
Oh. Well, Bud was a believer that the longer a player was at the stadium before kickoff, the more stale he became, the tighter he became. And Bud was a believer that they got taped at the hotel. They had their tape on underneath their socks when they got there in their dress clothes, and they went right in, suited up, and went right out to warm up.
Hayward plows out to the 40. That's a first down.
And a lot of the reason was, too, Dan, now as you remember, you mentioned the Met Stadium up there. It was cold up there, but he wouldn't even allow any heaters on the sidelines. No artificial means of heating it for the players. You go out there and play our kind of football.
I used to love to go there. The only bad news was that Carl Eller was there, too.
Falcon timeout.
I remember building this deck, but the Palmers forgot to protect it with Thompson's Wood Protector Preservative. Protection from water, sun, and mildew damage. They learned their lesson. Thompson's Wood Protector Preservative. #1 for wood.
A few weeks ago, while doing some test shots with Debbie, I noticed something. Dandruff. So I told her about Head & Shoulders. Unlike regular shampoos, Head & Shoulders help stop flakes from even forming. You see the difference? Head & Shoulders turns dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
Hey, I'm talking to you. The purpose of technology is not to confuse the brain, but to serve the body. To make life easier, to make anything possible. It's the coming of the new technology. For the purpose of technology is not to confuse the brain, but to serve the body.
I had a young couple from Sweden come into my store that was interested in buying a neon sign.
And mailboxes, etc. We can pretty much pack and ship anything.
The first question they asked me is, how do I get it home?
It was a very fragile item.
I made an instant decision to call Mailboxes Etc. my buddy Norm.
The item arrived there with no problem whatsoever.
Norm's Norm. He's just a cool guy.
Give me a break.
Depend on Mailboxes Etc. It's not what we do, it's how we do it.
Here on ABC Sports tomorrow at 1 Eastern and noon Central and Pacific. Coverage of the historic running of the Tour de France, which ended last weekend. You'll see that right here on ABC. And then Shannon Miller will be going for the gold in the women's all-around from St. Petersburg in the Goodwill Games. That's tomorrow right here on ABC. And today right here on ABC, we have 52 seconds to play in the half. Atlanta has the ball. They're down by 10. It's 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line, and Bob Galliano throws to the far side, and the catch is made by Darrell Spencer.
I had a flashback in that uniform. I thought it was White Shoes there for a minute. Wasn't that his number 84?
Yeah, exactly. Billy White Shoes.
I saw that old jersey and then number 84, and those were some great offensive football teams in particular that the Falcons had.
Lexus halftime report. The 6 inductees of the class of '94 for the Hall of Fame will be looked at.
A few tears shed on the steps of the Hall of Fame.
Oh, it was a wet one today.
2nd and 3, and that's incomplete. It's dropped by Bird Emanuel.
That's the youngster just kind of taking his eyes off it a little early and looking to turn on the speed, which he has a lot of, and they do anticipate he is going to be a great addition.
All right, he's wearing number 87. We're looking at the old red jerseys. Who wore number 87 for the old Falcons?
You got me.
Defensive player.
Defensive player. Tommy Novus?
No,
51, was he?
That was Claude Humphreys.
Claude Humphrey.
Great defensive end here. Of course, I remember the jersey. He hit me so hard one time, he broke my helmet. I actually had to go off the field and get a new helmet. He broke those water cells inside my helmet.
On 3rd and 3.
You don't forget that.
Catch is made by Darrell Spencer, who gets up, picks up a couple of more, takes it to the 41, and that's another first down for the Atlanta Falcons.
Oftentimes you don't remember it either.
Well, when a man hits you so hard that he breaks the inside of your football helmet, you have no trouble remembering the name, the number, the location, and the time.
Here's Galliano, and he gets tripped. And the timeout is taken here by the Atlanta Falcons. He gets only to the 38-yard line. Israel Stanley gets credit for the tackle, and that is Atlanta's final timeout.
That's what I told Chuck Bednarik at the Hall of Fame luncheon yesterday. I said, if I'd hit you any harder, I'd have killed you. He just popped his old little finger out.
He does have that one finger that goes off.
Is that the weirdest thing?
He and Staubach have
He's
those,
got the best act in America, hitting me and that little finger. It gets him booked all over the country.
I don't think he was acting when he hit you.
Does he play the main rooms in Vegas with this, or just the lounges?
He told me to tell Kathy to get off his back. Kathy didn't know who he was. She thought he was a pasta.
Well, Labor Day night, our season begins, the 25th year. It's the opening weekend of the year, and it's a great game. Raiders 49ers from Candlestick Park.
More than one person I've seen in the prognosticators thinks that this is a Super Bowl matchup.
Could well be.
Yeah, the Raiders and the 49ers.
49er fan right there.
How did the 49ers do it? I mean, they had the most expensive payroll, didn't they? And all of a sudden you look and they've got one of the best teams. Yeah. They still come in under the cap.
I think it's called one of the best organizations.
Yeah. Well, great management. Yeah. Great coaching.
and great planning.
I think it's got something to do with people like DeBartolo, McVay, policy. They have a little something to do with it. And maybe the most underrated coach in the league in George Seifert.
And Bill Walsh, of course, getting it started for all of those years in the late 70s and through the 80s.
Yeah, let's not forget John Brody.
And no matter how you look at it, Al Davis, when you get in a situation where it's evaluating talent, negotiating talent, bringing talent in, who has done it better than he has over the years? Of course, you never know it, but somehow he pulls it together year in and year out. And
3rd and 4.
Come on, Riley.
Atlanta,
Come on,
with Norm Johnson not playing today. They're not going to go for the field goal, and Galliano's going to go for the touchdown, and he throws that one about halfway to Youngstown as the first half culminates. End of the first half in the opening game of the NFL's exhibition season. And Ohio, the score is 17-7 San Diego. And we'll be back in Canton after this word from our ABC stations.
Starting Monday, Coach and the whole gang move to their new night with back-to-back episodes. Oh, yes! The show that's nominated for 4 Emmys has found a new home.
It is a rather joyous work.
Now see why for yourself. It's an hour of Coach on its new night, Monday on ABC.
From the creator of Laugh-In, the writers of Saturday Night Live, the producers of Cosby, Roseanne, and Grace Under Fire, they gave us millions of laughs, hours of happiness, and now this...
Sex!
She-TV, premiering Tuesday, August 16th on ABC.
Just look at the selection of car care products at Pep Boys. Now look at other places. Once more. Wow. Ooh. Oh, and when you look for every one of these at just 99 cents. At Pep Boys, if we don't have it, you don't want it. At Pep Boys, this starter comes with our lifetime warranty. At other places, you may only get 90 days. Let's see, lifetime or 90 days? Get a lifetime from just $29.99. At Pep Boys, if we don't have it, you don't want it.
At Bank One, we're always bringing the latest financial services to our customers. Now, we're about to do it again. Introducing personal investment centers from Bank One, Arizona Investment Services Corporation. The power of Wall Street, located right inside your bank.
The Great Alaska Adventure, next week at 10 o'clock on News Channel 3.
The Lexus Halftime Report is brought to you by Lexus Luxury Automobiles, the result of a relentless pursuit of perfection. Here now, Frank Gifford.
Here in Canton, Ohio, it's Hall of Fame Day. We're at halftime of the annual Hall of Fame game, and San Diego leads the Chargers 17-7. Just before kickoff today, the Pro Football Hall of Fame inducted its 6 newest members. Great names, great stars. Let's meet them. The 1976 Heisman winner came to the Dallas Cowboys through a shrewd draft trade by GM Tex Schramm, and Tony Dorsett paid dividends immediately. Rookie of the Year in 1977, he went on to become the first player ever to rush for more than 1,000 yards in his first 5 seasons. Finishing out his career with the Denver Broncos, his 12,739 rushing yards in 12 seasons ranks him 3rd in NFL history. Certainly one of his greatest runs was this explosive 99-yard sprint on a Monday night in 1983, forever sealing Tony Dorsett's name in the NFL record book. Business meetings are a big part of Tony's life now, as he was recently named vice president of Touchdown Distributing Company, a new venture in the highly competitive beverage industry. Tony Dorsett, today, joins the Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility.
I'm a living testimony that you can accomplish just about anything you want to in life. What I'm trying to say is, don't listen to other kids when they tell you you can't achieve your dreams. Go out and set some goals for yourself, then try to accomplish them. It's what you think of yourself that will make the biggest difference in your life. And remember this, remember these 2 words. You can. Because we all know that with a little hope and a lot of hearts, we can achieve just about anything we want to in life. And if we always run to daylight, we can even find our way back home. I just want to say, I'm living proof of that. God bless you, and thank you all for sharing in this wonderful weekend with me.
Bud Grant's success as an NFL coach is only matched by his athletic heritage. Overcoming polio as a youth, he went on to play 2 years with the NBA champion Lakers and was the #1 draft pick of the Philadelphia Eagles, later becoming a Hall of Fame player in the Canadian League. Bud made a successful transition to coaching, and in 1967 he joined the Vikings. Though his coaching methods seemed unconventional, he combined his own personality into his philosophy of coaching, leading the Vikings to 11 division championships and 4 Super Bowls. Today, the whistle is directed toward the training of one of his many hunting dogs. And though still associated with the Vikings as a consultant, his office reflects that love of the outdoors that has been such a part of his life. Today, Bud Grant joins a select group of coaches in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm here, and they can't take it away. And one other thing my father told me a long time ago, he said, if you're ever asked to speak at such an auspicious occasion with so many great speakers, he said, make sure you stand up good and tall so they all can see you. To talk good and loud so they all can hear you. Make a short speech so they all will listen to you. Then sit down so they all will like you. Thank you.
A first-round pick of the 49ers in 1961, Jimmy was earmarked as a receiver, but a dislocated wrist caused his move to safety, where all he did was intercept 5 passes in his rookie season. His value as a defensive back overshadowed his role as a wide receiver, and Jimmy went on to become the premier cornerback in the NFL for 13 of his 16 seasons. One of Jimmy's brothers, fabled decathlete Rayford Johnson, has been an inspiration throughout his life. And Hall of Fame quarterbacks John Unitas and Bart Starr are just some of the many who hail Jimmy as one of the greats of all time. Today, Jimmy uses frequent NFL alumni gatherings to stay in touch with so many of the legends of the NFL. A recruitment coordinator for E.H. Banks, a California sports agency, Jimmy Johnson, today joins the ranks of the NFL's greatest.
And as I said before, my presenter, Rayford Johnson, is in fact my hero. And that's an amazing thing within itself. Most young men growing up usually has a hero that's located in another town, another city, another country. I must say that I must give Brother Rayford credit for everything that I've accomplished in the field of athletics. And I just wish that we could split this trophy, this bust of myself, right down the middle, because he surely deserves half of it.
A 2-year backup to the legendary Jim Brown, Leroy Kelly was asked to fill some big shoes when Brown suddenly retired in 1966. An ominous assignment that was answered with a league-leading 15 touchdowns and over 1,100 yards rushing. Leroy followed with 2 rushing titles, 2 punt return titles, a scoring title, 5 All-NFL teams, and 6 Pro Bowls. The credentials of a true Hall of Fame career. The NFL alumni honored Leroy last month and brought together many of the Brown greats like Hall of Famers Paul Warfield and Marion Motley, and gave Leroy the chance to meet possible future Hall of Famers like Ozzie Newsome. Leroy Kelly becomes just the 21st modern-day running back to enter the Hall of Fame.
There's so many people, like my teammates in high school, in college, and professional, that is the reason why I'm here today. I'm not going to start naming them because I'll be up here all day. But I just want to tell them, I want them to share this honor with me. It's a great honor. It has made me very happy and made me very proud to be the 1994 inductees into the National Football League Pro Hall of Fame.
An unknown 10th round draft choice out of northwestern Louisiana proved to be one of the St. Louis Cardinals' greatest players. Jackie Smith redefined the role of the tight end, combining the punishing toughness with the speed of a wide receiver. For 15 seasons with the Cards and a final one with the Cowboys, Jackie had 480 catches for just under 8,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. A ferocious competitor with great hands and amazing speed, Jackie was named to the Pro Bowl 5 times. Today, Jackie still resides in St. Louis and works in the shadow of the arch on the Casino Queen, where he is the director of marketing and public relations. But his family is his focus, and he can be found maintaining those competitive juices, working out with his son Greg, who has been able to overcome the obstacles of diabetes and is a sophomore fullback at the University of Missouri. Jackie Smith becomes just the third tight end to be enshrined in the Hall of Fame.
This is an overwhelming day. It's an overwhelming honor, which I accept with great pride on behalf of all of my team members. The Football Hall of Fame is a place where my great-great-grandchildren can come and where Grandpa can forever remain young and forever catch passes. And where they can realize, as I do today, that dreams really do come true. And thank you very much.
From the moment he joined the Cowboys as a first-round pick in 1975, Randy White terrorized the opposition. A player without ego, Randy's burning desire to succeed and legendary work ethic paid off as he missed only one game in 14 seasons. All-Pro 8 straight times and 9 straight Pro Bowls highlight a career that also includes a co-MVP in Super Bowl 12. Randy White set a standard by which defensive tackles will be measured in the future. Randy's still a Cowboy and somehow seems to fit more than 24 hours into the day. He has been studying the martial arts for almost 20 years. He has a successful restaurant in downtown Dallas. And he's a spokesman for a local car dealership. But when he wants to get away, fishing has always been his escape. Randy White is still a man on the move, and today he moves into the Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility.
I tell you, when I found out I was retiring in 1989, I called my mother, who's sitting down here. And I told her, Mom, I'm going to retire. I wanted her to know before I told anybody else. And she said, well, Randy, she said, yeah, that's good. Well, maybe someday you'll get in the Hall of Fame before I die. Well, Mom, I tell you what, you're here and I'm here. And I tell you what, I'm proud to have you here and be a part of this with me. Thank you.
It has become very popular for automakers to imitate Lexus advertising. But apparently, that's all they've been able to imitate. Because once again, Lexus has been ranked best overall car line in initial quality. And this year, all 4 Lexus models ranked among the top 10 in initial quality, which makes this one Lexus commercial no one can copy. The Lexus Halftime Report has been brought to you by Lexus Luxury Automobiles, the result of a relentless pursuit of perfection. We'll be back with the second half kickoff after this from our ABC stations.
Saturday on the commish.
Showtime, folks.
Tony takes on a gangster.
You set me up.
Who gets even by framing Tony's wife.
I didn't hit that man, Tony. I swear I didn't.
I can't let my wife go to prison.
The commish, Saturday, here on ABC.
I'm on after Roseanne. I am on after Roseanne. My name is Ellen. After Roseanne. I am on after Roseanne.
Ellen moves to Tuesdays after Roseanne, starting this Tuesday here on ABC.
So, what's a Hymenoptera formicide?
An ant.
What do roaches eat?
Lint, grease.
How can you answer your office phone at a different location?
I have no idea.
Well, you can't be an expert at everything. So to help with your phones, US West created the Small Business Group. We'll answer your questions and help you run your business the way you want to. After all, you know bugs.
One of the favorite entrees of the Black Widow is the mop.
And we know phones. The Small Business Group at US West.
It's Saturday and Lotto plays here. Tonight's jackpot, an estimated $5.5 million. Big bucks for big dreams. See it first. See it live right before News Channel 3.
These Lotto tickets are hot and going like crazy. Folks are really excited about that huge jackpot. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Howell. Join me tonight at 10 for the live Lotto drawing, and maybe you'll be Arizona's newest millionaire.
See it first. See it live tonight at 10, right before News Channel 3.
You thought you'd seen truck sales. Well, this weekend, Larry Miller Toyota will sell more Toyota trucks than you ever imagined possible. Why? Because we're slashing the price of every truck $500 to $3,000 under dealer invoice. Not one truck, not some trucks. Every truck. Every truck. Every 2x4, 4x4, long bed, short bed, extend cabs, T100. Every truck in stock up to $3,000 under dealer cost. Yes, Virginia, if you want a Toyota truck and you miss this sale, you're nuts. Larry Miller Toyota's Total Truck Blowout.
Patty Kirkpatrick, weeknights at 6 on News Channel 3.
The AFC-NFC Hall of Fame game, brought to you by Lincoln Mercury and the complete line of 1994 Mercury automobiles, and the 54,000 new employee owners of United Airlines. Come fly our friendly skies.
We're back in Canton, Ohio. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf as we begin the 25th anniversary season of Monday Night Football on a Saturday afternoon. Randy White and the rest of the Hall of Famers being paraded around Fawcett Stadium in Canton, Ohio on a very warm, pleasant, about 80-degree afternoon before a typical capacity crowd.
I think it's the last official function of the new enshrinees is that they circle the field. They're introduced to the crowd out at the 50-yard line, and other than their visit up here to the booth in the second half, I believe that their Hall of Fame weekend has officially come to a close. And there'll be some tired puppies. These guys have been going on 4 hours sleep for a couple of days.
San Diego kicks. Mike Hollis kicks off to start the second half, and this was Tony Smith with a flag going down, returning it to the 33. Well, the unofficial part of the weekend is pretty good, though. I know Dan tonight is hosting a gathering for Jackie Smith.
It's going to be fun. He deserves it, and it'll be fun to wind down a little bit.
It's a pleasant exhaustion, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Family and your friends, and I tell you, it's just so homey here, Dan. They make you feel so comfortable, and you think of all the tradition and the history.
Return team, number 99, 10-yard penalty, first down.
NFL born right here in Canton, Ohio, 75 years ago.
Frank, when you get a chance, just talk a little bit about the gathering that the Hall of Famers have on Friday afternoon. It's the first chance for the new guys to rub shoulders with the prior guys. To talk about it a little bit.
It is fun. I'll leave out the adjective.
Atlanta starts from the 20-yard line, and Galliano is still the quarterback, and Ironhead is still in the game, and Ironhead with a gain of 15. Hayward takes it out to the 35-yard line.
Well, it is a luncheon where just the Hall of Fame members who come back, and they have 10th anniversary returnees, and they have a 20th anniversary returnee, and of course a lot of the Cleveland Browns, the Steelers show up, and I would say there's anywhere 50 to 60 Hall of Famers, and they meet the new inductees, and each Hall of Famer gets up and says something, or tries to. Nitschke is the wildest, can I tell you? He storms around the room. He's still looking for somebody to hit, but it's a special, special time.
Well, with ABC doing the Hall of Fame game every year, I assume you have the best attendance record.
I do. 24th.
Hayward up to the 36. And now that we've got the Pro Bowl back, we'll end the season with a look at the new class, because they're always announced that week, and it follows the Super Bowl. We'll be in Honolulu this year and have our first look at the guys who will go in the class of 95.
I talked about the new Hall of Famers. Now you can tell us a little about the hotels over there.
I certainly can. We're already booked.
Yeah, I just hope we live up to those lofty expectations.
We will.
Well, we did fairly well for a lot of years.
2nd and 8 from the 37-yard line, and a leaping catch is made by Darrell Spencer at the 45-yard line of San Diego. That's an Atlanta first down, an 18-yard pickup.
People just start calling him White Shoes Spencer. He keeps catching the ball and taking the hit like that afterwards and holding on to it.
Hey, there's some jobs open here, too, for receivers. We touched on it already. The 3 starters from this 4-receiver offense that are gone: Pritchard, Haynes, Hill, and this was a good move by Spencer. Finds an opening gap.
Well, he had to spin all the way around. You know, a lot of guys can catch the ball, and not everybody has to spin all the way around and then take a couple of good pops like that and hold on to it. That's a guy who's able to play in the National Football League.
Locked down at the line of scrimmage.
One thing with this offense, the receivers know they are going to get hit.
That's Reggie White. No, not the Reggie White, but a Reggie White knocking it down.
I mean, the defenses are coached that way. You get one of these, and they are not big receivers that come across the middle. You look at Bert Emanuel, second-round pick out of Rice, 175-pounder, 5'10". You've got some Jason Phillips, 5'7", 166 pounds. You know, these are little people getting hit by big people. And they've got to concentrate on holding on to the football and the helmet.
Second and 10 at the 45-yard line. Galliano, look out from behind. And he's able to pick up a yard, taking it to the 44-yard line before he is chased down by Cornell Thomas.
Luckily for Galliano, he was running towards his own bench, and you can actually hear his teammates yelling, "Look out behind, look out behind."
What a great shot. Good work, guys.
You can see that it registered with Galliano about 4 yards. He kicked it up a level to keep from taking the big hit. Thomas was right on it. I don't think he'd have gotten that assistance if he'd have been running towards the San Diego bench.
3rd and 9 at the 44. And the catch is made short of the first down. Bert Emanuel only to the 38, though. It's going to be 4th and 3 with 12 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. June Jones in his debut as the Falcons coach, looking on as his team trails 17-7.
Boy, you have to like his chances to be a successful head coach also. He's very bright, has a great background as a player out of Portland State. Where else? Hawaii, he played there. He played at Oregon, Dan Fouts. He's been around, and he's got a great attitude.
Harold Alexander angles that kick, and they will march it off and see where it went out. And they'll spot it at the 14-yard line.
By the way, I've had a lot of people ask me, what's June's first name, his real first name? It's June. That's his christened name, in case you were wondering.
His middle name.
We're using high-resolution robotic cameras in order to give you a closer look at the fit and finish of our Lincoln cars. To achieve this kind of quality, we not only employ technologically advanced machines, we also employ dedicated people who bring to Lincoln a craftsmanship that can't be duplicated by a mere machine. Sorry, fellas. Lincoln, what a luxury car should be.
I remember the day I said goodbye to baseball. I promised myself minor arthritis pain wouldn't hold me back. And hey, I gotta use this shoulder. That's why I still want strong relief. So I use Ultra Strength Bengay. It has 3 pain relievers. They only have 1. And doctors recommend Bengay the most. I promised myself arthritis pain wouldn't hold me back. Bengay helps me keep that promise. Ultra Strength Bengay. Nothing stronger.
If you demand more from an aftershave than alcohol burn, you gotta try alcohol-free Sensitive. With cooling sensates, it's proof aftershave doesn't have to hurt to work. Take the heat out of aftershave. Demand proof. Try alcohol-free Sensitive from Old Spice.
Rust is tough, but Krylon, the leader in spray paint, is tougher. Krylon Rust Tough goes on Krylon smooth, dries Krylon fast, protects Krylon tough. Rust may be tough, but Krylon Rust Tough is tougher.
11:31 to go in the 3rd quarter. 17-7 San Diego.
It was a good one, but not fit for air.
Yep.
Hot day, but we've been here when it's been a lot hotter again. Temperature today around 80 degrees. San Diego at the 13-yard line. And this is Tony Vincent, a rookie from Towson State, picking up 2. And let's get a sideline report from Lynn Swan.
Al, I talked with Bob Ross at halftime, and he thought his team was playing just okay. Was very disappointed with the number of penalties. In particular, Isaac Davis getting called for a couple of holding penalties. He thought the rookie Vaughn Parker was playing well, but he's just going to play a lot of young players a lot in the second half to try and rest them in this heat and really give them a good evaluation. Pretty much the same thing on the sideline with June Jones, where he's going to feature in the second half Perry Klein and Jamal Anderson on his offense. Al?
All right, Swanee, here we've got San Diego 2nd and 8 at the 18-yard line. Gail Gilbert hands the ball off to Tony Vincent, and the rookie goes next to nowhere. 3rd down and long upcoming.
Again, it's a tough field. It had a lot of rain on it last night. There are a lot of divots, and it's very difficult for a running back to cut back. You saw it again right there. Look at the size of these divots that are being taken out of this field. I don't see any way they have of covering it, Dan. I don't know whether they can or not, but I don't see any rolls of tarpaulin or anything. So I just think this is whatever happens, this field gets it.
If you're hitting an 80-yard sandwich, that's a pretty sight, isn't it?
Yeah.
3rd and 8. And Gilbert's going to take off and gets out to the 21. He's short of the 1st down. Lemuel Stinson, the ex-Chicago Bear, makes the stop as Jones goes over some things with the rookie Bert Emanuel.
And I think that's a scene that might get played out a lot in the coming years here in Atlanta. Emanuel has the look of a player that's here for a while. And June Jones prides himself on his people skills, his ability to get along with a player, not just as a player, but he's one of those coaches that wants to know everything about their personal lives and wants to be involved.
Darren Bennett, the Aussie, it's a wobbly kick. And it's a 39-yard kick as it spins out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Better luck next time, mate. 9:27 to go in the 3rd.
If there's one thing that separates us, that makes us different from all other living things, it's the desire for a chance, for one shining opportunity to see how high, how far we can go. Well, the people of United Airlines just got one of those chances. Today, the 54,000 men and women who built this airline now own this airline. Come fly our friendly skies.
Please be seated. The performance is about to begin. The 32-valve, 280 horsepower Lincoln Mark 8. It's like Beethoven with an attitude. Drive everything else first.
Sunday, can Lois save the world from a deadly computer virus? Are you ladies finished? Melanie Mayron guest stars. Lois and Clark, Sunday on ABC.
Here's the new quarterback, Perry Klein, who was a very highly touted high school quarterback in Southern California, chose to go to Cal, didn't get the playing time he wanted, then transferred to Little C.W. Post. And the Falcons have drafted him. They want him to be their number 3 quarterback, and he gets his baptism under fire here on what appears to have been a busted play as he tried to hand the ball off and winds up taking it and picks up about 9 as he gets out to the 49-yard line. So it'll be 2nd and 1, and Junior Seau may be done for the day. Well, Hall of Fame, our next enshrinee to visit with us in the booth is one Jimmy Johnson, a great defensive back for years with the San Francisco 49ers. Did you ever think this day was going to come for you, Jimmy?
Well, to be very honest, Al, I didn't give it much thought. You know, I just kind of got on with my life, and this is a very special happening for me here now. And wherever it came from, I'm ready to accept it.
And then to have your brother deliver the induction speech, Rayford Johnson, has to be particularly special.
It was a very special moment. In fact, 6 minutes after I knew that I was going to be one of the inductees, I called Ray and asked him to be my presenter.
You know, there are those that will say that perhaps you were the best athlete in this family, even though he was the gold medalist in decathlon. I know Dick Nolan, who used to coach you, said he'd never, ever coached an athlete like you. And a lot of other people have said that had you decided to stay with track and you were a great hurdler, you might well have competed in the decathlon yourself.
Well, I appreciate that, Frank, very much. And track and field, as you know, was my #1 sport. That was my love there. And I took up the hurdles, a race that Ray was involved in. And I outdid him one shot there. I was an NC2A high hurdles champion in 1960 at UC Berkeley, and Big Brother never got that, so I put one on the board against him.
You have a great relationship, don't you?
Absolutely. It's a mutual admiration society. I think I've helped Ray out a lot, and for sure he's helped me out a lot.
Jimmy, there aren't many areas in the game of football that have changed as much over the last 15 years or so as playing in the defensive secondary. The way the rules have really been tightened up. What would it be like, you think, making the transition, trying to play today? Because the guys are really handcuffed a lot today.
Well, I'll tell you, it would be a tough transition, but basically with my skills coming in, you know, I was a man-to-man type of guy, and my very last year with Coach Monty Clark, I was adapted to the zone coverage, so I think I have all the tools, and if I had an opportunity to come back and try these guys today, I'd have to think I'd be successful.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, but it really has changed.
Oh, it's been some tremendous changes, absolutely tremendous changes. You know, all for the better, you know, I think, because it opens up the offense.
You also were thought of initially as a wide receiver, I understand.
Well, they needed Jimmy Johnson defensively there because Emmanuel makes the catch as Klein airs one out and he beats the corner.
Well, now we know what June Jones and Emmanuel were talking about over on the sideline.
Well, there's Emmanuel, again, we mentioned earlier, does about a 4.340.
And it's what we can say is this touchdown happened because Jimmy Johnson was not in the cover.
Yeah, that's right. Bobby Ross is trying to get Jimmy suited up as we speak here.
Now tell us about that cornerback play right there.
Well, first of all, he should have got with the guy, and it shouldn't have been more than a step off of him, so he could have driven on the ball.
Got caught looking into the backfield.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Jimmy, what are you doing these days?
Well, I'm out on the West Coast, living in Mill Valley, and just got with a new sports agency, H. Banks and Associates out of San Pablo, so I hope to be kind of talking to these collegiate guys and professional guys.
Okay. Jimmy Johnson, congratulations, sir.
Thank you, Al. It's a pleasure.
Great to see you. Long way from Kingsburg, California.
Thank you, Frank. That's for sure.
God bless.
New Hall of Fame. God bless.
Good. Thank you very much.
Real proud of
Thank
Jimmy
you.
Johnson. And the score is now 17-14, San Diego.
That touch.
Great house. You know, I think the world would be a better place if people could sit down together and enjoy a good meal.
Welcome.
I also think to some extent the world would be a better place if chicken is as good on the inside as it is on the outside. That's why we make our extra tasty crispy chicken real crispy on the outside and real tasty on the inside. That may not make for a better world, but it sure makes for a better meal. If you give someone a good meal at a fair price, they'll come back to you.
Is the gray in your mustache or beard making you look too old? Now there's Just for Men Brush-In Color Gel, specially for the hard-to-color hair of mustaches and beards. This brush-in gel stays put to penetrate hard-to-color hair. In 5 minutes, rinse. Your mustache or beard blends with your natural hair color, and it won't fade or wash out.
Now that's a lot better.
Just for Men Color Gel, from the leader in men's hair coloring.
It still bugs me that I waited to try Old Spice High Endurance just because I thought all deodorants work the same. Dumb. This proves it's the best. Try it. If you don't think it's the best, call 1-800-PROVE-IT and they'll buy you a stick of yours. Take the High Endurance Challenge from Old Spice. I did.
To soothe athlete's foot, Desinex does it. But to cure athlete's foot, Desinex does it. Only Desinex has UDA to both soothe the discomfort and kill the fungus. To soothe and cure, Desinex does it all.
Jim Kelly and the defending AFC champion Buffalo Bills host the Washington Redskins. It's a prime-time NFL preseason special, August 8th on ABC.
In other words, we've done that.
And we're back in Canton, Ohio, where the Chargers are leading 17-14. Falcons cashing in on that last drive. Perry Klein making his pro debut, and it pays off with that catch by Bert Emanuel to drive the Falcons to within 3. And now Atlanta to kick off. Todd Peterson from the 30-yard line sends it down to the 10-yard line. Andre Coleman to the 28. Not sure if Bert Emanuel had necessarily had a gift in mind here. I think he was just a little exultant, and the next thing you know, there goes the football.
As Dan pointed out, it's a good thing he wasn't his wallet.
Well, it's kind of like, don't come out of the end zone. It's tough to go back. Once he hung that ball out over the fence, I think the fans thought that it was fair game. But I don't think that's the last touchdown catch for Emanuel.
And Willie Clark, the defensive cornerback, the third-round draft pick out of Notre Dame, I imagine he will be taking a long look at that with the defensive coaching staff. And he just let Emanuel run right by him.
Kicking team, number 53.
He may catch as many as he throws.
Be a re-kick here as the kicking team was offside, and that means the kickoff will now take place from the 25-yard line. Here's Clark, an interesting day for him, an 86-yard interception return, and then he gets beat. Now he's looking for the clouds, so it gets a little cooler in here.
Well, such is the life of a rookie a lot of times in training camp. It's you look like the player that they thought you were when they drafted you on one play, and the next play you look like the rustiest free agent that ever tried out for anybody. And coaches see through it. They see the ability, they see the constant improvement. At least they hope they see it. And you get some time to evolve in this league, especially if you're a high draft choice like Clark taken in the 3rd round.
New linebacker Dennis Gibson from Detroit. He's going to take over the spot vacated when Gary Plummer left to go to San Francisco.
Gibson was a starter in Detroit for 6 or 7 years, so San Diego people feel that they got a pretty good swap, that they're getting a player who in many ways reminds them of Plummer.
Kick now taken at the 17-yard line and run back up to the 30-yard line by Andre Coleman. Well, with the kickoffs moved back to the 30, and that one after the penalty to the 25. We talked about it before. It had reached the point where very few kicks, or fewer and fewer, were being returned. As you can see, in 1973, when they were kicking off from the 40-yard line, 74.4% were returned. Then they moved it back to the 35, and it went up over 90. And on the right-hand side, you can see the diminishing returns through the years to the point where last year, only about 2 out of 3 kickoffs were returned, and the league wants to see that go back up to between 85 and 90%.
We're getting people like Brad DeLuiso, who was kicking it consistently out of the end zone for the Giants a year ago.
Here's Trent Green, the new quarterback for San Diego, and he throws a little screen pass out to Tony Vincent.
It's just easily explained by the emergence of the soccer-style kicker. The majority of kickers in the league prior to '74 were conventional kickers, and since then we have seen the evolution of the soccer-style kicker, where they just don't dominate. It's exclusively soccer-style, and you drive the ball higher and deeper. And it's a wise move, I think, backing it up to the 30.
I think it's a combination of juiced balls and corked shoes.
Well, we'll take that up with Albert Bell later.
You know, we talk about all these changes. There's such a profound philosophical difference on the part of a lot of people when they think about this game as opposed to baseball, Al, which goes on forever with no changes. And
false start, offense, number 73, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
The football, it changes almost in maybe every decade, a great deal. And I think it has to do a lot with the players changing, their speed, their size, their abilities, and there's the movement over the right side. That's Isaac Davis again. That's the 3rd infraction today, I think. A couple of holds, and now that one. But lot of people don't like it, but I mean, there is a reason for it. And we'll try to discuss that today. Second down and 9. And the catch is made by Chris Thomas. Oftentimes, all it takes is just a little tweaking. You know, what football's done, we've detailed today. Remember, baseball went through a period where the pitchers were really dominating like crazy in the late 60s. And what they did is they took the mound from 15 inches high down to 10 inches, and that brought it back. And you know, we're talking about height here. There's the difference between, well, the old tee and the new tee, and that's one of the differences this year in the kickoffs.
I think your use of the word tweaking is right, Al. That's what they're doing. It's not a wholesale huge change, but it's subtle enough, I think, that it will have an impact.
Third down and 2 now as Trent Green retreats and throws complete on a little out pattern. We've got a flag down on the far side. Johnny Barnes made that last catch. 5:56 remaining. We're in the third quarter. Gary Lanes had a busy day. 17-14
Pass
San
interference.
Diego.
Offense, number 86, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
Alfred Papuno. You look at Bobby Ross, and you realize, as you take a look at the play again, how precarious it is to be a head coach. Yeah.
There was a pretty good shot that Papuno laid on Lemuel Stinson. Stinson, I don't think, was really trying to challenge the 255-pound Papuno, and
Stinson's a little guy. He goes about 175 pounds, and he took a heck of a shot. Third down and 12 from the 27-yard line. Green. And goes over the middle, and a catch is made up at the 45 by Vance Johnson. Talking about Bobby Ross. Ross is in only his third year. He begins his third year, and yet in seniority, he's already 12th among the 28 coaches. He's been there longer than half the coaches in the league right now.
Hey, guys, we were talking about the rule changes. Here's another good look. Take a look here on the right of your screen. That's the offensive tackle, Vaughn Parker. Look how far off the ball he is. His counterpart at the top of the screen as well. And that is really an aid in protecting the quarterback. Now, what tackles are going to have to do...
It's only by inches, isn't it, Dan, that you can now set back further?
What they're going to have to watch out, Frank, is not give away a pass by getting so far off the ball and then coming up on the ball on a running play. I think that time there, Parker, who did a good job of separating himself on a pass, might have given away the fact that it was a run by crowding the line of scrimmage. These guys they're going to have to be consistent. If you're going to get that separation on a pass, you're going to have to be a little more subtle on a running play and not just telegraph it to everybody.
But on the 3rd and 12, it gives you a better positioning on the defensive end. Vincent picked up 7 on the last run on 2nd down and 3 now. Green, and the receiver fell down. It's incomplete. Johnny Barnes falling along the sideline. 3rd down and 3.
A lot of slips today and a lot of tired legs. These players going on 2-a-day workouts still at this point in training camp, come in with very dead legs, and what you have are dead legs on a dead field.
And resting them for a game like this, not a high priority with the coaching staff.
No, this is a scrimmage for the coaching staff.
They're still trying to find out who can play and who can't.
Green throws, catch made at the 37-yard line by the Vance. Vance Johnson, a marker down, back at the 48, however.
Good move on the part of Johnson.
He's coming back.
Somebody chewed up quite a divot down there at the 36-yard line. They may have to get the grounds crew out to fix that one. That's a big hole.
Old faces, new places, and a ton of them. Just a few. Clyde Simmons and Andre Waters and Seth Joyner all go from Philly to Buddy Ryan. It would figure.
Buddy West.
Ken Norton goes from Dallas to San Francisco. Big acquisition there. Henry Eller, the all-time leading receiver for the Rams, is now a Redskin. John L. Williams leaves Seattle. He goes to Pittsburgh. Reggie Cobb goes from Tampa Bay to Green Bay, and Jackie Harris goes in the reverse direction, the great tight end. They're going to miss him. And Albert Lewis, who with Kevin Ross was so much a part of that KC secondary, is now a Raider. So Ross is here, and Lewis is gone as well. 3rd and 13 at the 42-yard line.
Where's the flag?
Flag goes down as there was encroachment, and the pass is incomplete. How would you like to be Albert Lewis coming into Kansas City in a Raider uniform this season?
Yeah.
Offside, defense, number 94, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
David Wilkins. Now quarterback changes, and there have been a ton, including, of course, Jeff George going to Atlanta. Warren Moon is now a Viking. Scott Mitchell from Miami to Detroit. Now that Marino's back with Miami. Rodney Peete goes to Dallas to back up Aikman. Jim McMahon is now a Cardinal. Jim Harbaugh at Indy. Mark Rippon is now in Cleveland. Jim Everett from the Rams to New Orleans. Kramer to Chicago. And Bernie Kosar is the new backup to Marino for Don Shula. Third down pass is incomplete, and they'll punt.
I think the movement, the mass movement we saw this year, we won't be duplicating next year. It'll still be the free agency movement, but nothing like it has been this year. One thing we didn't point out, the average salary has now also moved up to, what, a little under $800,000 a player? It's grown rather remarkably.
It's about what it was when you played, right?
Yes.
That might have been
a 100-year contract now to come close.
It might have been a team payroll.
I think it might have been.
Yeah, stop and think about it.
Darren Bennett sends a wobbler to the 18-yard line. And the run back of 6 yards by Tony Smith to the 24. Falcons will take over there. 3:34 to go in the third. San Diego 17, Atlanta 14.
Hey, Jack Nicklaus, you say you drive a Lincoln Town Car for lots of reasons. Can you give us a few?
Sure. Well, 1, smooth, comfortable ride. 2, roomy interior. 3, it's incredibly quiet. 4, I think I'll stop at 3.
Lincoln Town Car, what a luxury car should be.
This is a Goodyear Aquatread with a 60,000-mile warranty, and this is a bucket of water. At highway speeds, Goodyear Aquatread pumps away over a gallon of water every second, thanks to its deep groove aqua channel. Over a gallon a second. That's 396 gallons per mile. Think about it. The next time it's pouring buckets. The all-season Aquatread, only from Goodyear. We say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Debbie, these shots are fabulous. Beautiful, Debbie.
Better than the last time, Tony?
Absolutely. It's my job to make sure people look good. A few weeks ago, while doing test shots with Debbie, I noticed something. Dandruff. So I told her about Head & Shoulders. You see, regular shampoos merely rinse flakes away, so they could come back. But look, Head & Shoulders helps stop flakes from even forming. See the difference? Yeah, picture perfect. Head & Shoulders turns dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
This fall, the adventure begins.
Watch out!
McKenna, coming soon to ABC.
That's the lineup in prime time tomorrow on ABC, beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern and Pacific. 6 Central and Mountain, America's Funniest Home Videos, the new America's Funniest People, Lois and Clark, the new adventures of Superman, and the new miniseries, Barbara Hershey starring in that, Stay the Night. Canton, Ohio. Late third quarter, Atlanta has the ball. They're down by 3, and this is Jamal Anderson, a rookie from Utah. June Jones said that he wanted to take an extensive look at one Mr. Anderson during training camp as they try to fill a backup running back spot.
4th round draft pick, Utah. Seeing a lot of new faces and new names right here at the Hall of Fame game as we move into the later stages of it.
It's 2nd down and 4, and time called.
You talk about new faces in new places. Wait till...
False start, offense, number 86, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Wait until, that's how many players we've seen so far, and that number will increase. Wait until a year from today if you want to talk about new faces in new places. The Hall of Fame game next year has the Charlotte Panthers playing the Jacksonville Jaguars here in Canton, Ohio.
Look inside the hole.
That's the Gifford bust is in there somewhere, but that will be an event. I believe both of those cities had media contingents here this weekend, just prepping for next season. That's how excited those two communities are to get ready to get the NFL season started.
Here's Klein taken off, and with some nifty running, and a flag goes down. He takes it out to the 40-yard line. It's going to come back. It's another hold. I don't know about you, but I may need a whole year to get ready for that game. You talk about not being able to tell the players without a scorecard.
The first game of an expansion franchise is the ultimate new faces in new places.
Interesting too, Dan. How they're going to expand.
Offense, number 96. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
It's has not been totally determined as to how they will be stocked.
No,
even where they're going to play, the alignment. So they have a lot ahead of them. But there is unbelievable enthusiasm in those two new franchises.
Well, Jacksonville, I believe, did an hour-long show from Canton here last night just on the experience of the Hall of Fame game. This is the first preseason game of the season, while the beginning of the NFL season is always anticipated and appreciated by true football fans. I don't think it has sent the cities of Atlanta and San Diego to a fever pitch, this game in particular, but it certainly will the Carolinas and Jacksonville.
Here's Jamal Anderson.
It'll be the biggest game they ever played.
I think Jacksonville's a 1-point favorite.
There he is.
Not me.
There he is.
My old head.
That's your old head.
Yeah.
Does it bear a striking difference to the new one?
I can't wait to bring Cody in there and let him look at that thing.
Oh,
press the video. They have all these plays from all the members of the Hall of Fame. You can get a video and watch him play. And sadly enough, so much of mine is in black and white.
Well, he'll be justifiably proud.
Well, we'll get Turner to colorize it for you.
No, that is a thought.
3rd and 13 at the 21-yard line. And once again, Jamal Anderson brings it up to the 26. It's 4th down, and in comes the punting unit with a minute to go in the 3rd quarter, and the Chargers on top 17-14. Dan, shoulder pads and helmet.
That was the year the NFL was born, 1920. We celebrate this 75th year, and right here in Canton, Ohio.
Looks like insulation, doesn't it?
Well, the Canton Bulldogs were one of those original teams, and that's why this Hall of Fame is here. The league was born in an automobile showroom.
That and the fact that Pete Rozelle pushed it for so many years. There's certain owners who wanted it.
Scott Tyner kicks, and just lucky to hold on is Andre Coleman. He's tackled by Elbert Shelley with 31 seconds to play in the 3rd.
We all depend on gasoline to fuel our engines. The problem is, some of us use it the wrong way. Never use gasoline to clean things, and never use it to remove things. You can't see gasoline vapors, but they are very dangerous. So keep it away from your children, or your whole life could change in the blink of an eye. Don't use gasoline indoors, and keep it tightly sealed, because what you can't see can kill you.
Alternative math. What do 1 crust sandwich, 1 order of hash browns, and 1 hot coffee add up to?
$1.99.
At Burger King, just $1.99 every day. We may not be the world's #1 fast food place. It just tastes that way.
To truly appreciate Lincoln Mark 8's premium sound system, just crank it up. Lincoln Mark 8, the luxury coupe with a 32-valve, 280 horsepower sound system. Drive everything else first.
When sports cream? When arms are sore. When legs ache. When muscles hurt. Why sports cream? Massaging sports cream in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell. No odor. Why sports cream? Because it works.
Well, Clay Matthews, the Brown, he's used to playing games in this territory, a little bit up the road. Pierce Holt, the former 49er, a little wisdom and knowledge.
How can you be Clay Matthews and be the oldest defensive player in the National Football League and go to a new team and you're not even the oldest player on that team? Mike Ken, I think, is like 5 months older than 5 weeks older than Clay Matthews.
He is.
That's two 17-year players, one offensive lineman, one defensive linebacker, both on the same ball club. Now, I guess there's 2 rocking chairs in the Falcons locker room.
Well, Mike Kent's kind of indicated that he's going to retire. He has semi-officially announced it.
He's said that this is going to be his last year. It was nice. There's Mike Ken, former great player at Michigan, and really you stop and think about keeping 2 physical specimens that can keep themselves together over 17 years. It's astounding.
End of 3, and back we come to Canton, Ohio after this word from our ABC station.
Next week, Coach moves to its new night, Monday. Nominated for 4 Emmys. Catch the Coach Gang now on Mondays here on ABC. Nominated for more Emmys than any other series in history.
Just blew that guy away for nothing.
One of the most explosive shows of the season.
I killed 2 men.
NYPD Blue. Tuesday. Viewer discretion is advised.
At Pep Boys, you know the name brand quality of our air filters. At other places, you don't. Once again, uh-huh, uh-uh. Oh, and you won't pay more for our quality from $2.99. At Pep Boys, if we don't have it, you don't want it. Just look at the selection of car care products at Pep Boys. Now look at other places. Once more, wow. Ooh. Oh, and when you look for every one of these at just 99 cents. At Pep Boys, if we don't have it, you don't want it.
So, what's a Hymenoptera formicide?
An ant.
What do roaches eat?
Lint, grease.
How can you answer your office phone at a different location?
I have no idea.
Well, you can't be an expert at everything. So to help with your phones, US West created the Small Business Group. We'll answer your questions and help you run your business the way you want to. After all, you know bugs.
One of the favorite entrees of the Black Widow is the mop.
And we know phones. The Small Business Group at US West.
The Great Alaska Adventure, next week at 10 o'clock on News Channel 3.
Pretty tumultuous offseason, you might say, for one Andre Rison. I know many of you read about it. His girlfriend, Lisa Left Eye Lopes, the hip-hop singer, apparently has been charged with arson in the burning down of Andre's home. And, well, I don't know what the disposition of that case is right now, but I do know that Andre has to get everything back together. Last I heard that they were still boyfriend and girlfriend. And they expect a big year out of Rison, who looked good today in the first quarter.
Well, everyone in Atlanta says that he's, even with the distractions, turned in a remarkably consistent training camp so far. Andre, who feuded publicly with Jerry Glanville, not the least bit upset that June Jones is the new coach, and a lot of people think that Andre is going to be rejuvenated. And you stop and think about it, as an unhappy ball player, he still had 86 receptions last year and 15 touchdown passes. What does the guy do if he's really happy?
And has more yardage in the first 5 years than any player able to play this game.
I mean, his last 5 years, guys, we're talking 52, 82, 81, 93, and 86 receptions. Now, that is just not really, really good. That's phenomenal work.
And he's playing in the right offense for it, too. That would be cut down remarkably playing somewhere else, but this has been the perfect offense for Andre Rison. And it remains the same under June Jones.
He's going to lend new meaning to Burn the secondary, though, this year. I'll tell you that.
I know that.
Fourth quarter. 13 and a half to play. Chargers on top, 17-14.
I really got to keep an eye out for you.
A left eye.
Talking about Trent Green, have we given all of his numbers, stats, and background, the quarterback now for San Diego?
I could really throw a guy a softball, Ken.
We're right back in sync.
He's there.
Uh-oh. Green throws, and the catch is not made. He's out of bounds at the 25.
Jimmy Barnes couldn't get both of them down in bounds. Johnny Barnes, rather. Out of Hampton College.
Minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Chargers on top 17-14. Third down and 7 at the 43-yard line. Trent Green. Flag down, fires, and throws behind the intended receiver, Johnny Barnes. On the marker, though. Line judge throwing this one. Gary Lane is the referee.
Get so many different groups and different combinations of offensive players at this point in the game. It gets a little sticky.
Illegal formation.
Seattle.
There's a number 70 was set in the backfield. Penalties decline. Fourth down.
A good look at Lincoln Kennedy, one of the largest players in the National Football League. The first-round draft choice of the Falcons last year. He alternates somewhere between 350 and 380 pounds. Taking into consideration whatever he had for breakfast and lunch that day.
When you're that big, that's not much of a percentage of fluctuation, is it?
Well, he needs to get it down. That's too heavy, and he'd be doing himself a favor to get it down.
Bennett's kick is run back to the 23 by Corey Dixon, a rookie out of Nebraska, and an omnipresent flag has been thrown.
Again, all the different combinations that are being tried now by the two sidelines. Players on the field that have never taken a serious offensive snap together.
Personal foul, 15-yard face mask on the runner, 15 yards, first down.
Pretty obvious one, right out in the open. That's not where you're going to get away with it. Willie Clark drawing the flag.
They came from Alaska and North Dakota, California, and even farther west. This summer, we invited everyone who owns a Saturn to visit us in Tennessee, the place their car was born. We called it the Saturn Homecoming. People could see where their cars had been built and spend some time with the men and women who built them. They could see where the idea for a new kind of car company had taken shape, and we could thank them for believing we could do it. 44,000 people gave up their usual summer vacations to spend them with us at a car plant. Pretty good turnout for our first big party. Of course, not everything went exactly the way we planned, but we were all in it together, the way we always have been.
Hey, you get into fitness, you're likely to get into athlete's foot, and that could be tough. I mean, look at, you've got all that itching and cracking stuff, and watch this. Boom, even burning. You see that? Now, that's what you call a really tough case. That's when you want a medicine that acts tough. Boom, tough-actin Tinactin. See, Tinactin cures even tough cases of athlete's foot fungus. It's clinically proven. No wonder it's the one most recommended by pharmacists. You got a tough case of athlete's foot? Get this. Boom, tough-actin Tinactin.
World All-Round champion Shannon Miller takes on the sport's best, plus the boxing finals. The Goodwill Games continue from Russia, next on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Well, it's the Hall of Fame weekend. Leroy Kelly, the great Cleveland Browns running back, another of the enshrinees, and we're going to talk to Leroy in just a moment as the Falcons begin this drive. They trail by 3 with 12:44 to go in the fourth quarter. Perry Klein is the quarterback. The ball is at the 38-yard line. And Klein hands the ball off to Jamal Anderson for a gain of 7. It's a thrill for anybody to go into the Hall of Fame, but Leroy, I have to think making your mark just up the road in Cleveland has to make this really something extra special for you.
Al, it's just like coming home, you know. I tell you, this morning in the parade, you know, it seemed like I was in Cleveland, Ohio.
Did Jimmy Brown call you Leroy? I know you took over for him when he all of a sudden up and retired suddenly. And did he call you and say anything to you about your induction?
No, not really. He congratulated me. We were at a Bobby Mitchell Hall of Fame golf tournament about a couple weeks ago, and we talked down there.
How was it taking over for Jim Brown? You knew he played only 9 years. He set these incredible marks, and you, Leroy Kelly, have to come in and take over as running back for the Cleveland Browns.
Well, Frank, I tell you, a lot of people think I took his position, but actually I stayed at halfback position, and Ernie Green moved over to fullback. So.
And they designed the offense for you.
Definitely. Well, our offense system, both backs could probably run, you know, either play, you know, all the plays.
Leroy, I had the pleasure of standing here as a proud teammate when Jackie Smith was here. Now I get to just be plain, unadulterated fan, because this is my hometown. I was born and raised a Cleveland Browns fan, and there is such a love affair in the state of Ohio with the Cleveland Browns and the players who played for the Browns. I think I know what you mean when you talked about it's like coming home, because we loved the Browns. We grew up loving the Brownies, and we thought when Jimmy Brown left that football as we had known it ended. And Leroy Kelly proved to us that wasn't the case. You were great, and we loved you for it.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
What are you doing now, Leroy?
Right now,
playing golf is what he's doing. That's not bad.
Well, since I've been inducted, I'm doing a few card shows, you know, and personal appearances, you know.
10 handicap? Come on. I mean, you get me mixed to it.
And you know, if he admits to a 10, he's really on a 6.
I want nothing to do with Leroy as a golf course. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you, Frank.
Well deserved.
Thank you. Dan.
Go Brownies. Huh?
Hey, pleasure.
Yeah. Leroy, you were great to watch. Congratulations to you,
Thank
sir.
you. I tell you, it's a great feeling.
Okay.
It's an honor and great feeling. I'm very happy. My family's happy.
Good for you.
Leroy Kelly.
Bless, man.
And the fans really gave him a fantastic reception, and he wasn't kidding during that parade. That was quite a sight this morning through the streets of Canton, Ohio.
Oh, like you were sitting on the curb.
I have a room that was overlooking the parade room, and I opened up the windows.
Besides, it was on local TV.
Right. I know what room to rent.
You opened up your windows. It was to yell down to everybody to shut up. You're trying to
Well,
sleep.
it was a little early.
Dan and I know those windows don't open.
Well, there's a way to get them open.
You talking about the parade this morning would be the equivalent of me talking about what it was like being up there when Neil Armstrong was walking on the moon.
Well, I happened to be with Aldrin that afternoon. And Grimes throws into the end zone, but incomplete. Intended for Joe Rogers, a rookie from Texas Southern.
Ooh, and Rogers could have been a hero.
Yep. It's going to be 3rd down and 5.
That's where the legs just kind of look. He just couldn't get another stride out of it. Kind of hard to leap and catch a football. You're better off staying in the full sprint. You'll cover more ground than you will by diving for it.
No, but he certainly showed that he's going to go after the football. A fine effort.
3rd and 5 for Perry Klein and the Falcons. Little play fake and a bootleg, and the pass is underthrown. Intended for the ex-Jet Terrence Mathis.
Well, Cornell Thomas didn't get the sack, and he didn't get the hit on the quarterback, but he certainly forced the incompletion.
Yeah, he showed a lot of speed, Cornell Thomas, and he forced Perry Klein to throw way off balance, and he couldn't get the completion out of it.
He's got the toughest road of just about anybody, and not just individually, but he symbolizes an entire genre of football player coming from a small school, Western Georgia, and being a free agent. You've got to really be special to overcome that.
Harold Alexander's and contact was made inside the 10-yard line. A flag goes down. The ball is down at the 4.
He was hit.
Charles Washington.
He was hit by his own man, wasn't he?
Well, I know that Washington and Darian Gordon were involved, and there may have been a third party as well.
Well, I think it was Rodney Harrison who actually made the hit. He was right there. All right, there's... Oh, he's trying to block one of the... he actually blocks one of the Falcons right into it. Charles Washington was the Falcon there, but he's actually driven into him, it looks like, by Harrison.
There is no foul. The man was blocked into the receiver.
Exactly.
First down.
That's a good call. They don't work much on special teams in training camps, and it shows.
9:41 to play in the fourth.
Want a taste you can't turn back. Trying to Pringles double stack. Double stack you pack. You got to like that. Take the space out of Big Bangs. Don't look so big. That's a drag. And they got pieces of those greases. Pringles got the whole chips, you bet. Triple stacks is what you get. Get the Pringles double stack of chips. Doubly, 100 resist. Yeah. Once you pop, you can't stop.
Long before we ever built the first car here at Saturn, we were looking for ways to be a little friendlier to our planet. We've had some great ideas.
It's a car that runs on vegetables.
No idea is too crazy. All told, last year we reprocessed over 40,000 tons of material.
Take the bumper off of the car and make a skateboard. We can make the broken down glass into marble.
To have a car that's totally recyclable someday would be a magnificent event. I'd like to be part of that.
To know what's the big deal about baking soda toothpaste. So I checked into it. Turns out there's more to how baking soda cleans than just its gentle cleaning action.
Tests show baking soda also cleans by helping neutralize plaque acids, and Arm & Hammer Dental Care has more baking soda than any other brand.
I didn't know that. So I tried Arm & Hammer Dental Care. Wow, now my teeth feel really clean.
Arm & Hammer Dental Care, the baking soda toothpaste with more to clean your teeth.
I'm David Brinkley. A baseball strike week after next? The players' union says yes. The owners want to hold down their pay. The owners say too many teams are losing too much money. Sunday.
Tomorrow, we'll review the Tour de France for you on ABC Sports, beginning at 1 Eastern, 12 noon Central and Pacific. Then the Goodwill Games from St. Petersburg, Russia, comes your way. Shannon Miller looking for the gold in the women's all-around. A reminder on Monday, it's the new night for Coach. Coach moving to Monday night. And you've got back-to-back episodes coming your way this Monday. And then Barbara Hershey in Stay the Night, primetime Monday. And then the following Monday, preseason football. First of 3 for us during the preseason. San Diego starts from the 4-yard line, and carrying the ball is Ron Rivers for the first time for a gain of 5.
What a lead-in we have, I might add, on Monday night.
Coach,
I like that.
That's right.
Eastern time zone.
Craig T. Nelson.
We got him started, didn't we? What was that, 89 or 90 out in Washington? He came on, and
that's right. Owes it all to us, too.
Dan said, who are you?
Coach Hayden Fox. Here is Ron Rivers flowing his way out to the 14-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 1. All right, Fjording his way out. The Chargers, 8-8 last year. Funny, most people, I don't think, expect that much from them. Most of the preseason prognosticators have them 6-10 or 7-9, but they could surprise a few people. The problem for them is they're in a very tough division.
Probably the most competitive division, top to bottom in the NFL.
That 8-8 coming off 11-5 a year ago was a little bolt of reality for Bobby Ross.
Well, you look at the quality that's in the AFC West and the survivor. I was going to say the winner of that division. I think the survivor of that division might be a better way to look at it, is going to earn it, because there's not a soft touch anywhere in that division.
Even Seattle figures to be much better this year. Clearly at the very top with the Raiders and Denver and Kansas City. You have 3 teams with playoff potential.
That's what we were looking for, Al. There's a kick.
Bennett, the Australian, sends one down to the 33-yard line. And Corey Dixon gets gang tackled.
Now, that's the kind of a punt that'll excite a coach.
53 yards. And a tall one, too. 7:40 remaining. We'll talk to Randy White when we come back.
It's amazing how the right color can enhance and brighten a room.
Well, we both went down to Sears. We found this great selection of paint.
Through Saturday, Sears has every gallon of paint on sale. Thousands of beautiful contemporary colors.
With Weather Beater, I think we'll sell the house before we paint again.
Save 10 to 30% a gallon on every color, every brand. Easy Living, Weather Beater, Dutch Boy. For the best finish, start at Sears, bringing America's best to you.
The feeling that we wanted, Sears matched. It worked out beautifully.
Hurry, girls, before Daddy gets up. Ooh, pretty. Now, no more. These are Daddy's corn pops.
Oh, look, Daddy's bowl is too full.
The problem with a cereal that tastes like popcorn, only sweeter, is that it disappears like popcorn, only faster.
Mommy, that's Daddy.
We share.
Hi, girls. Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys.
Now, let's all go make him breakfast.
Kellogg's Corn Pops. It's hard to stop when it's Pops.
I'm looking forward to the season. Like a slug. Looks forward to the rain. I'm talking about the NFL season. I'm talking about brawn and brain. Reggie White, Steve Young, Barry Foster, and players with much longer names. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the season, and especially the two-point conversion. I wrote that.
Every summer, this sleeping giant lay dormant. Now it awaits to welcome NASCAR's best in the first ever Brickyard 400 next Saturday on ABC.
What you done?
Okay, after the first play?
Randy had.
Yeah, okay.
Even for them.
We have 7:40 remaining in the fourth quarter in Canton, Ohio. 17-14. San Diego on top by 3, and Atlanta has the ball at the 35-yard line. Perry Klein is the quarterback. And Klein has been looking pretty good to this point. Sets up the screen, and then falling down is Jamal Anderson. Well, clearly when Randy White played football, a lot of people said toward the end of his career, this guy is going into the Hall of Fame. He did it today. But were you surprised that you made it in as quickly as you did? I mean, you were out of football the minimum amount of time, and here you are.
Well, I learned a long time ago, things like this you don't have control over. You just sit back, and if they come your way, boy, it's great. And being here today and spending this weekend up here in Canton, getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, I tell you, it's going to be a weekend that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. It's one of the most exciting, greatest experiences I've ever had.
Randy, I wonder if a lot of people remember that Tom Landry really had you picked out to be a middle linebacker. And I wonder if you'd be standing here today if Tom Landry would have stuck with you at middle linebacker instead of deciding you weren't a middle linebacker and making a tackle out of it.
Well, I probably wouldn't have stayed in the NFL very long if I'd have stayed at the linebacker position. I tell you, I had to... at the end, they moved me out to weak side linebacker, and I was covering Tony Dorsett one-on-one out of the backfield, and he caught the ball every time he went out for a pass, and I saw the back of his jersey going for a touchdown. So when Coach Landry moved me back into the defensive line, I tell you, that really made me happy, and I got in a position where I could react, and I felt comfortable, and, you know, that was a great move for me.
On behalf of every offensive lineman who had to play against you, I wish they would have left you at linebacker. But, Randy, your game, you had it all, obviously, but quickness, that's what you brought that a lot of us had never seen before. Alan Page was quick off the ball in acceleration. You had a lateral quickness that surprised everybody and how quickly you could get around somebody. Was that always there, or is that something you worked on?
Well, I think I had it to a certain extent, but I worked hard lifting weights, and worked a lot in the martial arts, developing coordination and quickness, and you know, that really helped me. You know, a lot of people talked about how strong I was, but I felt like my biggest asset was my quickness, and you know, that helped get me by guys like your old teammate Bob Young. You know, when I had to go against him on a running play, I mean, he's probably one of the toughest run blockers I ever played against. But, you know, I could get the advantage on the pass plays. I could get around him just about every time. So that's what really helped me.
You'd come up out of your stance, and he'd come up with this shake and bake. You'd start this, and you'd look like a new dance step. And I swear, you'd mesmerize the guy in front of you. I know you laugh about it because you did it to everybody.
Yeah, but I tell you what, when we played like against old Bob, and you had Jim Otis back there running the football, I had about 550 pounds coming at me. And Big Harvey's out there trying to run around rushing the passer, and they hand the ball off to Otis. I got a 4-foot hole here to cover, you know. The next day I go in a meeting, Coach Landry's telling me, hey, you got to make the tackle on the line of scrimmage. I always want to say, hey, Coach, you make the tackle on the line of scrimmage. I can't do it.
You know, I never thought it was possible that Randy White could get me to feel sorry for him. All this time, poor Randy. I had the wrong attitude.
What's life like for you today, Randy?
I tell you, it's been good for me. I tell you, I live in outside of Dallas. I have a little ranch down there. I have some business interests down there, and it's I'm really enjoying 5 years. That first couple years were pretty tough. I really did miss the game and felt like I could still play, but you know, looking at these guys and going to training camp and looking how big they are and strong they are, and I watch them out there beating on each other. I said, you know, gee, that I used to do that. You know, you know, reality sticks in, and now I can sit back and enjoy the game, and I'm enjoying linebacker football.
As a Cowboy forever, what do you think of all of the changes that have taken place with your old club?
Well, I tell you what, change is tough. Change is always tough. But I tell you, you look at what the new regime has done since they've come into Dallas, and boy, I tell you what, I'm really, really happy for them and the job that they did turning the Cowboys around, winning 2 world championships back-to-back, in a great position to have an opportunity to do it again for the 3rd year. So, you know, I'm going to be a Dallas Cowboy all the time, and that's still the Dallas Cowboys, and I want to see them do well.
You are a Cowboy, as we saw at halftime. The martial arts, that kind of threw me off a little bit. You were really good at that. Well, you make the Power Rangers look like, you know, nothing.
How about a demonstration here?
Go, Power Rangers.
No, I tell you.
I was impressed, I was.
Well, that's something I started back in 1976 with our strength coach, Bob Ward, really got me started on it, and that came about really because of the rule changes and big guys like Dan out there, and I really wasn't a particularly big guy in my career, so I had to do something to combat them being able to reach out and grab and hold like they were doing.
Oh, man, you defensive linemen all alike, always complaining.
But, you know, I got involved with martial arts, and it really helped me and really made me a better football player. And today I still stay involved with it because it's great exercise and it's a great release for me. So it's really good. And I tell you what, I'd encourage anybody out there that has young children. They ask me all the time, what would you do with your kid? Would you want him to lift weights? Would you want him to... You know, I'd encourage them to get involved in the good martial arts program because it teaches you balance and teaches you distance. It teaches you discipline. There's a lot of positive things that come out of the martial arts.
Well, Randy, congratulations to
you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Good
well
visit with you. Frank, thank you.
Great.
Dan, good seeing you.
And we survived an encounter with the Manster.
All right. All right.
Congratulations, Randy.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Randy White of the Dallas Cowboys, one of 6 inducted today into the Hall of Fame. It's 3rd down and 1 for Atlanta there at the San Diego 35. Atlanta trailing by 3. And they pick up the 1st down, and Anthony Wilson has a lot more. He takes the ball to the 25-yard line.
Anthony Wilson
from California.
I forgot that was a nickname, the Manster. But I swear Tom Landry tried to make a middle linebacker out of him.
Oh, well, you know
almost ruined a career.
You know, I don't know if you remember this, but you know, the number 54 had significance because that was Chuck Howley's number, the great linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys, and then they passed it along to Randy White. And we all watched him play a little bit of linebacker and said, oh, this is going to work out okay. And then all of a sudden they put him at defensive tackle in that frog stance that the defensive linemen of the Cowboys used to get in that flex defense they ran. And then all of a sudden it wasn't funny anymore.
Here's Klein. Ooh, a little too high at the 2-yard line. Harrison Houston.
He never really lined up.
Florida was the intended receiver.
Excuse me, Al. He never really lined up across from you, did he?
No, I played across from Too Tall.
Yeah.
He and I did battle every game, and then Jethro Pugh would be across from Dobler, and as Randy said, he did his battles against Bob Young, who's now the offensive line coach of the Houston Oilers. And talk about 2 guys that had more than their share of upper body strength. Those 2 used to lock up, and it was something to watch.
Who was the toughest defensive player you ever? I know you mentioned Carl Eller. You hated to go to Minnesota.
You know, the guy that 2 guys that probably gave me as hard a time as anybody. Too Tall, one, Jack Youngblood, because he was such an opposite player.
Oh, and that's intercepted at the 6-yard line by Chris Johnson. And Johnson has given San Diego the ball back, as it appeared the Falcons were driving for at least a possible field goal attempt, which would have tied the game. And as is the case in regular season, if a preseason game is tied, it goes to overtime. But San Diego has other ideas as they take possession at the 9-yard line.
Pass protection was good. The receiver slips and falls, and
again, I think
really tough to
blame that on the
field.
field.
Yeah, you can't blame that on the quarterback. That's
Harry Klein right in there, and just the receiver coming out of his cut, pulled a divot and lost his footing.
Atlanta's 3 turnovers, all on interceptions. Jeff Brom is the new San Diego quarterback. They want to take a mini look at him, and here's a good look at Ron Rivers, who bangs his way out to the 26-yard line.
Free agent rookie out of Fresno State, Ron Rivers. Just up the highway from Jimmy Johnson's home of Kingsburg, California, in the San Joaquin Valley. Not far from Bakersfield.
You know, one subject we have not covered today is Deion Sanders. If you're wondering about Sanders, there is a timeout here charged to the Falcons, and it gives us a chance to talk about Deion, who has done his job so very well with the Falcons in the time he has been with them, and he of course has played baseball through the years with the Braves and then joined the Falcons after the baseball season. Now Deion plays for the Cincinnati Reds. He is an unrestricted free agent. Atlanta did make an offer. He has rejected it. But now the question becomes, if there's a baseball strike, will Deion want to get back in a football uniform pretty soon? Lynn Swan, do you have any other information about that?
I certainly do. I tracked Deion down with the help of Steve Hurt in San Diego last night, and he feels like the reason he won't come back to Atlanta is because they disrespected him and his talent. Now, if there's a strike, and he does, and he's in ongoing contract negotiations with a couple of teams, Super Bowl caliber teams that he didn't want to identify, he said he still wouldn't come back to play football right away. He has a bad heel. He wants to rest it. But should mid-September come along into September and there's no resolution to the strike and he has a contract in hand, he would then go back and play football.
We might point out, too, that he is a free agent, so he can shop pretty good.
Well, but then, again, the new financial plan that's in effect in the National Football League, the salary cap, a player of Sanders' talent.
He could blow it out of the water,
yeah,
couldn't he?
Deion doesn't need the money, and so someone is either going to have to save room under the cap to make a play for a guy like Sanders, or they're going to have to release an equivalent number of players to equal up to his salary. It's not as easy as it used to be for a guy like Sanders to join a club halfway through the football season.
And, you know, don't cry for the Falcons completely, because D.J. Johnson, whom they acquired from the Pittsburgh Steelers, is a fine cornerback. Granted, he doesn't do what Deion Sanders does with returns and just the electricity that Sanders brings to a game, but he's a good cornerback.
Shannon Mitchell makes the catch, takes it out to the 31-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5. There's a look at D.J.
I think what impressed me about Deion Sanders was his play in all aspects of the game was more than his reputation. We know that he's, you know, a showman, that his punt returns, his kickoff returns, his running with the ball after an interception is what really immediately catches your eye. But, you know, Deion was supporting the run. Deion was making open field tackles. The man is, even without practicing, one of the premier cornerbacks in the game of football in all aspects. And it's a talent that even if you only have him for half a year, it's hard to turn a blind eye to.
Well, he's one of the great game breakers today in football.
Well, I think the Falcons, Kenny Wolf, our producer, queuing us up here. They had 13 interceptions last year. Deion had 7 of them.
And they were 0-5 before he joined them.
He never recovered from that.
What a heartbreak for a football coach, though, to just have him for half a year.
Good old Jerry right into the broadcast booth.
Ron throws. It's intercepted. The Falcons get it back. Charles Washington is tackled at the 30-yard line with 3 minutes and 14 seconds remaining.
And overtime is alive and well in Canton.
And the shaken up Charger. Johnny Barnes, I believe, was the man who was down and shaken. Brom is shaken in another sense.
Well, again, we have seen on several occasions receivers going down and throwing off the timing with the quarterback, and that was another case of it. And again, that is attributable directly to a field that is very difficult to cut on.
When you are a new coach and you are attempting to resurrect a football team that has been a predominant loser over the years, you take the opportunity to win any game you can. And June Jones right now will do anything he can do to engineer a win here for the Atlanta Falcons. This is a team that needs to learn how to win. Preseason, regular season, it makes no difference. He wants his players to experience the feeling of winning and how it is better than anything else.
I used to like to win them. You go into training camp the next week and you feel better about, you won a football game. That's what you're out there to do.
There's a good example of how big a losers over the years the Atlanta Falcons have been. You see that they have the second worst percentage, only the Tampa Bay Bucks. And this is in any of the major pro sports. The Kings, the Cardinals, and the Colts. That is not the group of 5 that you want to be in.
Harry Klein wants to make sure he doesn't turn the football over again, because the least he wants to come away with is the possibility of 3 points to tie it up.
First and 10, the catch is made at the 21-yard line, and that's a first down as Corey Dixon gets it to the 19-yard line. That much time remaining, 12-yard gain. Norm Johnson has been bothered with a hamstring pull. He is in uniform. He's one of the premier kickers in the league. He missed only 1 field goal last year. However, June Jones said before the game that he does not anticipate Johnson will be kicking today at all, and he hasn't. And Todd Peterson is the guy who backs him up.
Norm went to the Pro Bowl for the Falcons last year. Stop and think about it. Only missing 1 field goal over an entire season.
And then he came back to win that game at the end against San Francisco. First down from the 19-yard line, and Klein throws. That's complete to the 12-yard line. Catch is made by Corey Dixon again.
Well, they're going to keep going right there until they get some coverage from the cornerback. And they're just not getting it.
It'll be second down and 3 at the 12.
They won't have to run a play before the 2-minute warning. Looks like they're going to be willing to let it go.
And it will be second down and a long 3 when we come back. 2 minutes to play in the Hall of Fame game at Canton, Ohio, with San Diego holding on, leading the Falcons 17-14.
This summer, we invited everyone who owns a Saturn to visit Spring Hill, a Saturn homecoming. They could see where their cars were built and meet the people who built them. We could thank them for believing in us. 44,000 people spent their vacations with us at a car plant. Of course, not everything went exactly as planned, but we were all in it together, the way we always have been.
After you shave, now there's comfort to the power of 3. It's Soothing Edge Aftershave with 3 soothing formulas for 3 specific skin types. An aloe formula that's alcohol-free to soothe sensitive skin. Extra moisturizers to soothe if your skin is dry. And a cool vitamin E splash for normal skin. Soothing better than ever with the power of 3. Edge Aftershave skincare for men. Ultimate comfort. That's the Edge.
Control is everything. And once you got it, everything else just falls in place.
Pert Plus, one smart shampoo, control-enhancing conditioners.
It just works. My hair does what I want. That's enough for me.
Start a project with Minwax Wood Finish and turn new into treasured, secondhand into first-rate, ordinary into extraordinary. Because Minwax Wood Finish makes it easy to turn any project into a beautiful masterpiece. Minwax makes wood beautiful.
And we're back in Canton, Ohio, with 2 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. 17-14 San Diego. Atlanta has the ball second and 3 at the 12-yard line, and Todd Peterson awaiting an opportunity to either tie the game or, well, what he hopes is to come in and kick an extra point.
Well, if you're trying to make an impression, I'm not so sure he wouldn't rather go for the field goal. He's trying to make a name for himself, trying to catch on with somebody.
Second and 3. And through the middle for a first down goes Anthony Wilson. He takes it to the 7-yard line. First and goal, Atlanta.
Lots of time. There's a clock ticking away at about 1:40. Harry Klein, his 9th round draft pick out of C.W. Post, another 4th round draft pick.
Atlanta with 1 timeout at its disposal as Klein goes to the air, fires into the end zone, was jarred loose, and so was the ball.
They were side by side. The helmet and the ball were side by side. Both of them at one time, I think, in the possession of Harrison Houston.
Rodney Harrison was the one that whacked it out of there, I believe.
The ball is a little high. Going up for it is Houston. And boy, that's just a good defensive play, as you mentioned, Frank, by Harrison, knocking out both the helmet and the ball.
He saved the 6.
Second and goal. And they keep it on the ground. And Wallace to the 5-yard line. Third down and goal.
No back is going to make an exaggerated cut here today without slipping.
We saw it again. Yeah. Tried to break it against the grain and nothing. Just too soft.
And again, Peterson waiting. Third down. We have 55 seconds remaining, and the clock is running. It's third down and goal at the 5-yard line. That's Houston in motion to the left. Line looks that way. Now scrambles. He's got room to roll. And he's in for the touchdown.
Larry Klein, CW post. Had a big year last year. Big game against Wagner a year ago. Whoa, look at this.
It's Ozzie Smith. Barry Klein doing some somersaults.
A pretty good drive he engineered there. Beat up on Greg Lane, the cornerback on the right side, got it down, ran the ball up the middle, and took it in himself.
That might be the most athletic move we saw all day.
And the kick is just good off the foot of John Peterson.
He did it on a soft field.
So Bobby Ross's team has led almost all the way, but here, well, backflip.
Look at this.
Right. Not a very good dismount and landing, but
well, it's the field soft, Dan.
That's right.
You know what? How many times have we? I think we'll get a little talking to that'll be the last time that happens. Come down the wrong way and turn your ankle. How many times have you seen some player in a exuberant mode there ends up hurting himself? Not bad, though, seeing that kind of spontaneous expression of happiness. Good for you.
Barry Klein gives Atlanta a 21-17 lead, and he's a guy battling for that number 3 spot. Jeff George is clearly going to be number 1. Bobby Hebert number 2, and then June Jones said, I want to see Klein win that number 3 job, and he's doing nothing to dissuade Mr. Jones to this point.
And the number 2 quarterback that we watched today perform, Bob Galliano, not terribly impressive. Barry Klein being able to move the football.
Klein went to Palisades High School in Los Angeles, the same school that produced Jay Schrader. 10-yard line. Here's Andre Coleman.
Outside!
Up to the 33-yard line he goes with 31 ticks remaining. Jeff George started the game, and he's going to be their guy. But they play 5 games, so plenty of time to get him ready for the regular season. By the way, these two teams will meet. They don't meet very often. In fact, they played only 4 games in history, and this year they will meet at Atlanta on the 6th of November. Trent Green trying to get out of bounds and does get there to stop the clock. 23 seconds remaining.
This is another aspect of the game they do not work on much in training camp, certainly not the first couple of weeks, and that is in a given situation like this, final seconds of a game, you've got to move it down the field. You've got to get 6 rather than 3, and these are all specialty situations that you work on during the course of a season, but not this early in the preseason.
Second and 5. Green throws, catch is made. That's a first down, but they've got to pick up more ground than that because they've got only 17 seconds left, and they're down by 4. Catch made by Walter Dunson.
A good effort on the part of Trent Green to get that ball into the air. He was under attack.
Stan Humphries, the starting San Diego quarterback, saw brief action in the first quarter today. Incomplete. Well, boys, it's great to have our crew back for the 25th year, as always, headed by our producer, Ken Wolf, and our director, Craig Janoff. Gang upstairs here, we've got George Hill handling the stats. Malibu Kelly Right Eye Hayes handling the spotting. Gang is all here.
When are you going to move him to Aspen?
We already did.
Well, I know, but you have to get a name for it.
No. It's, I mean, you change Babe Ruth from the Sultan of SWAT.
That's got a point.
Great analogy. Yeah, really interesting.
Get out of bounds, sir.
Well, I do love this game, boys, but let's face it, we are creatures of the night, and it'll be good to get back under the lights.
Ernest Wyatt made that last catch, and time has expired, or has it?
Green's pass was caught by Ernest Wyatt for a first down.
We've got a marker and a delay. It was a charge team timeout, is what it was.
And they're going to reset 4 seconds onto the game clock.
Don't go away. We've got some post-game interviews coming up. Various excitement emanating here from Canton.
Oh, it has been a great week, though.
Hopefully
every time we come here, we're impressed with the job they do in Canton, what a great institution it is.
Hopefully we'll get a chance to see some of the highlights of some of the induction speeches. It's always an emotional moment on the steps right across the way. And there,
well, with 4 seconds, you do one thing.
I see that young man there on his father's shoulders. There are the steps. I remember when I was young, standing out there and watching Pete Rozelle and various celebrities from the NFL break ground on that building.
Hail Mary to try to win it, and it's knocked down in the end zone, and that's going to do it.
I was here that time.
Well, that's when they were breaking ground. They were just Pete Rozelle put that spade in the ground and said, "This is where the Hall of Fame is going to rise up out of the ground." And
I had seen the dinner the night before. And
did you really?
Yeah, it was great moments here in Canton. Played in the first game in 1962.
Well, we were both here.
Yeah,
I was right down there on about the 30-yard line.
I got to leave.
So the final score is 21-17 Atlanta, and let's check in with Lynn Swan.
Al, thank you very much. I'm with Jeff George, and Jeff, congratulations on this game. June Jones is talking about your talent, about your comfort level with the system. Are you feeling that comfortable?
Well, I feel really good right now, and obviously, you know, it looks good right now as we started off the first quarter with what we wanted to do, and like it is with everything else in the preseason games, you just want to come away healthy, and you know, we're fortunate enough that we won the game.
What was your attitude coming in this game? What did you want to accomplish?
Well, you know, we just wanted, like I said, number one, we wanted to stay away from injuries, but you bang up on guys weekend or day in and day out, and you know, it's good to play against an opponent. So you know, it's good to see this stuff on films. Now we can go back and work hard next week.
Mouse Davis is with this team. June Jones. They know how to put the ball in the air, but they also pride themselves on being people coaches. You know, they get with the people, the quarterback. They get into your psyche and your personality. Do you feel a comfort with them that they can take you farther than just your athletic skills?
Well, I really do. You know, 4 years ago when I first met these guys, you know, I knew sometime down the line that you hope you're going to play for somebody like that, and you want to win for them. As players, you hear so much about being involved with a player's coach, and they're definitely that. So I'm excited, and I think everybody's excited about the Falcons this year.
Andre Rison walked up to me on the sideline, and he said, "Lynn, watch out for Jeff and I this year. We're going to do great numbers." How do you feel about that?
Well, you know, it's exciting. We have a lot of talent around here, and Andre is, in my mind, the best in the league, and he proves that year after year. So it just makes my job a lot easier. I just got to get back there and get him the ball.
Let me ask you about one rookie on the team, Bert Emanuel.